That's my music. This is, we don't have video for the podcast yet, but at the beginning of every episode, you don't hear it. It is a smooth body roll to this music at the start of every podcast.
Every time.
How everybody feeling today? Woo! We like a smooth week out from marathon. It's everybody legs is like feeling like mad good, mad heavy. Where we at with the legs? How the legs feeling? What, we good? Thumbs up, thumbs up?
Deanna's always good.
Deanna was like, don't make me lie.
Yeah.
Don't make me lie.
She got her own training plan.
Legit.
She out here. She'd be like, today I'm doing this many miles.
I already know. So I feel like majority of the people in the room are running the marathon next week. Is that true? Like, let me hear that. Let me hear some noise if you're running the marathon. Ooh, let me hear some noise if this is your first marathon. Ooh,
Awesome.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite one. I remember the days.
Yes.
First marathon, first time running the lakefront path, umpteen times. Those are the days.
Out and back.
Do you remember your first marathon?
Yeah, it was with you.
Yes.
It was. Yeah.
I feel like I made it a really good experience.
You did make it a really good experience.
Yes.
Ian and I met from the DMs.
Yeah. Go to them.
And ever since then, we've been great friends.
Yeah.
He said, let me get that last bib you got. And I said,
Real
okay.
quick. I was
And
like,
here we are.
free marathon bib, say less. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I've been unnecessarily deeply involved ever since.
And we love it.
Yes.
All right, so before we get started, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping because you know that's who I am of us two. We're just going to address it. Masks will be on unless you're eating or drinking, please. Raffles will be happening in between panels, and so that'll be about because the panels are 30 minutes, and so then the passing periods are 10, so then we'll do a raffle, and there's all sorts of prizes, including a Theragun and some other stuff, maybe some shoes, so stick around.
Plan your bathroom breaks properly.
You spilling already?
Okay? It ain't gonna be ooh, Gloria got my ticket. No, be here to get your prizes, okay? Because good free stuff is amazing free stuff.
Yes, and then we got, for recovery spots, obviously you wanna do that at the check-in spot. And then, of course, we want to shout out our primary sponsors, okay? We got Don Julio, Kettle One, you know what I mean? And then Seed Lip. If you don't know, Seed Lip is our non-alcoholic option if that's like what you're going for, so you can still enjoy a nice cocktail that's non-alcoholic.
Yes.
But that limonada from Don Julio is definitely something to sip on.
Oh my God, the way it's hitting my lips is amazing.
It's refreshing.
It's like I just want to. Every time.
You know?
Every time.
All right. And so, and I'll come back. We got a lot to go over. I just want to get our panelists up. These panelists are from the Gumbofit cohort, which a lot of you guys are either a part of or know of. And I'm just very proud to just have them on the team.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And just see them evolve over the 18 months.
Yes.
So without further ado, I'd like to invite Kayla, Christian, and David up to the stage.
Woo! Have a seat.
All right, we're going to get you guys one of these mics, and then Ian and I will be on either side, so we can just pass it to you, okay?
We all going to be sharing is caring, okay? We're going to be moving the mic back and forth.
All right, so I'm going to quickly go over their bios because, one, they're worth reading, and it's just you got to know who these people are, so buckle up. So we got Kayla Davis on the end. Okay. And so by way of Little Rock, Arkansas, Kayla Davis celebrates her third year in Chicago by towing the line for her first Chicago marathon. Outside of training, Kayla applies 5+ years of education experience to serve as a conduit to build partnerships between Chicago students and their communities focused on improving the overall quality of life. If she's not in sneakers for a few runs or shamelessly kicking her partner's ass on the tennis court, you can also find her in your nearest coffee shop editing photos, reading, or writing, and writing, excuse me.
You're a writer? I ain't
So
know
there's
that.
Kayla in a nutshell.
What you, say what?
My journal. I be writing in my journal.
Oh my God, do you play like lo-fi music in the background, like Brandy music?
Yes. Let's hop. Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
And then we have Christian Yorena in the middle.
Lit Christian.
Hey. Christian was born and raised in Chicago. I mean,
Hey.
make some noise for that. He completed his bachelor's degree at the University of Chicago, where he studied movement science as an. I'm sorry. Let me not. Oh my God, you guys! I read this many times, but forgive me. Okay, he completed his bachelor's degree at the University of Michigan,
Put some respect on it.
where he studied movement science and is currently pursuing his master's of public health from the University of Illinois at Chicago. He completed his first marathon in 2017 when he ran for a nonprofit called Chicago Run. He is grateful for the Gumbofit family and excited to attempt to set a new personal best on October 10th.
Oh, wait. Movement science? That's like mad sexy. Like,
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
how does that work? Is
Yeah.
that like your opening line at your first date? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
no.
so basically,
You might have to flick it, turn it on.
Bam. There you go.
bam. Basically, it was a lot of kinesiology, so like biomechanics, exercise phys, which plays a huge part into why I run and started running.
Okay, all right, and then
Not what I was thinking.
right, and then we have David Latimore the second.
Ooh.
I don't know if y'all know that or not, but like I've been looking at this whole cohort, like, okay, you know what I mean? He makes sure to put second on there. So David is 23 years old. David is a 23-year-old product designer and musician from Chicago. Despite having experience running the 400 meter in high school, David feels like choosing to train for his first marathon with Gumbofit has deepened his relationship with running like never before. He's already a little sad that this training season with such a welcoming community is coming to a close, but also very excited to run alongside you all next week. Aw.
Yes. I love it. When I first saw his IG, I was like, this is Latimore? Like, super fly, mad fly, beautiful music. I enjoy it.
Doesn't skip a beat.
Listen, I need to be at a show at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the vibes. I love it.
So let's get into the questions. So I think we kind of went over it, but just as a show of hands, whose first marathon is this for you guys? Okay, so Kayla and David.
Awesome.
What did you expect coming into this marathon season, this training season with Gumbofit?
Go ahead, David.
Anyone? You want to start?
I honestly wasn't really sure what to expect. I had done a lot of solo running in the weeks prior to joining the cohort, but I expected to be surrounded by a lot of very talented runners and be pushed by, I guess, just how hard everybody tends to go for that sport. I was honestly pretty intimidated at the beginning of it, just knowing that like I was still very new to running, but was surprised and thankful that like everybody seemed to be like very welcoming and just supportive of like new faces and new people that were like joining them in the marathon training, plan. But yeah, I would say a little intimidated, but very excited, and it all panned out, honestly.
I love it. What about you, Christian?
So coming into this cohort, I was really just looking for a community. Last time I trained for the marathon, it was honestly just very white. And so when I found out about this cohort that's very, I just didn't feel like I really had a space in my running community. So coming into the Gumbofit cohort, knowing that it's a lot of black and brown athletes that I could really relate to and just like feel truly comfortable with, I was just so excited for that.
I love that. I appreciate that. That's something me and Courtney like really want to make happen. Thank you. No, I don't want you to answer this question. Because you've been around, fam. You knew what to expect.
You've been here.
You've been spectating for like
We need
years
a different
before
question for
signed
you.
up. I do want you to answer the next question though. Because you have been around as a spectator and now as an actual runner, getting these miles. What does the running community mean to you now versus when you began actually training?
So when I first moved to Chicago, I'll never forget, I was actually here to witness the marathon. And so I spectated twice.
Love it.
And I remember each time I was like, I can do that. I can do that. I'm going to do that. And so here we are now. I'm about to run my first marathon and I'm like really excited. But I think just witnessing it through my partner and like just witnessing everyone, I'm like, this is a spiritual journey for so many people. Everyone has a reason why they run. Whether it's for physical, emotional, spiritual, like psychological, whatever. Everyone has a story of why they run. So that's why like I really enjoy, especially on the long runs, getting to talk to people, not just about running, but like your story. Tell me who you are outside of running. So that's what I really appreciate the most.
That's beautiful.
So,
oh my God.
Right. Does that mean you're going to continue running?
Yes, I am.
Do you
Oh, she a runner.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, because you was looking good yesterday.
Thank you. I'm feeling really good,
Yeah.
I must say. Like this training, especially with Gumbo, is like, it's like I'm running with family. And like the family gets to see the tears. They get to see me laugh. They get to see me physically break down because my hip was hurting at one point. And like I confided in people to say like, hey, my hip hurt. What can I do with this? Resting and just all the things. And so like I have family see my story and like it was amazing. So yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, training together as a group, as a cohort, as a lot of you guys know, it's almost like going to war. Shouts out to any veterans who might be in the audience, anything like that. But it's like you seeing each other at your highest highs, your lowest valleys and stuff like that. And it just brings us so much closer. Like I feel like a lot of the people who I've met in Gumbo while running with them, and then even on 7 on Sundays, has like become so close to family. It's ridiculous. I love them. They come help me get my couch out of my mom's basement. You know, like it's been awesome, and I've been joining my favorite Kayla Shuffle right here. She got the most amazing stride in the world.
So Christian, I want to know, Christian and David, like, do you want to continue running? What do you want to run? Like, what is it? What's next?
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely will continue running. I started running in 4th grade through that nonprofit called Chicago Run and kind of went away from it for a little bit, but then through the cohort, really, it just reignited my passion for running. Right now, I feel like I'm in a place where I can really hit that PR going into Chicago, take some weeks off, and then I really just want to rip a half in like the spring, hopefully get some nasty times down. I don't know, but I'm feeling good about it.
There we go.
How about you, David?
I'm still trying to figure out what exactly it's going to look like. I'm definitely going to keep running. I think the dream is I do want to run more marathons. I want to run Boston one day. I understand that's like such a goal, and I'm probably very, very far from it. But
That's
I think
legit.
just like being only a couple months into running, like I kind of just want to set my sights on something and just see where chasing like that goal takes me, kind of thing. I'll probably just take some time to do halves or 10Ks or things like that in between now and the next time I run a marathon. Hopefully that's next year, but who knows? Like, but I'm really just I want to see how far and how fast I can go, and I guess we'll find out somehow, some way. But yeah.
I really love that.
Well, I just want to know, because, okay, y'all know that the cohort has gotten many shoes. Like, the fits are insane. The gear is insane. Shout out to Nike for that, obviously. They're not in the building, but
Nike
they
puts
are
y'all
our
all the way on.
sponsors. So, I mean, like, being in a place of being able to, like, test out so many different shoes between, like, the Pegasus, Alpha Flies, etc. What of all the things is your favorite, and what do you plan on running? I mean, I think I know what you're running in for the marathon, but I guess like I want to know, what is your everyday running shoe and then your racing shoe?
So I am a sucker for pegs. I love pegs. They are my favorite. But since training with Gumbo, it's honestly been the Infinity Reacts.
Oh,
I love those.
interesting.
Yeah, I love those. But what I will be racing in, the Alpha Fly. with the little bubble.
That's a shoe.
Yeah, the new ones
Yes.
with the high yellow, the ones that
Yes.
match your shirt.
Yes,
Okay.
I will be running in those for the marathon.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, I think those are the next percent. Because
I,
they got the bubble at the
the
top.
bubbles.
With the bubble, yeah, yo, the Alpha Fly is crazy because
Crazy.
like the next percents, I kind of like low profile with it. You know, it's like some good cushion, but it's always like on that board, especially for somebody pleasantly plump like me.
I don't know why he keeps
You know what
saying
I'm
this because where's
You
it
know,
at? Where's it at?
I'm a big boy, and sometimes it feel like a minimalist shoe.
He just sturdy.
But that Alpha, I'm sturdy. I like that. I like that. I'm sturdy. I love that. But like the Alpha Fly got that cushion and it's built for that marathon and up distance, It gives you that same energy.
What about y'all?
So my everyday training shoe is usually the Nike Invincible. It just has a lot of cushion, a lot of bounce, which I really appreciate. And then I'll be racing in the Alpha Flies because I think that, well, obviously they're a great shoe and they really just fit my stride really well. So I think that they'll just preserve my stride and keep me going through the 26.2.
Sweet.
Love it.
My everyday training shoes is probably the Infinity Flyknits also, or the React Infinity Flyknit, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. The soles feel super squishy, and they're just
Gotta
they
protect
look,
them knees.
Yeah, and they look sick. Like I think that's the most important part. It's just I'm happy to put those on my feet every time I do. So I will be racing probably in the Vaporfly for next week. I've been having some discomfort in other shoes that I've been considering like racing in. But the Vaporflies for me still feel super fast, super bouncy, I think.
Yes.
And again, they just look so sick. So I kind of have to wear them. So.
Yes. It's like putting your feet in spaceships. It's amazing. It's like, and then the plate, I'm gonna get a little nerdy. Like the plate, I want to say has like about 98% energy return. So like these shoes are literally running with you. They're conserving energy for each and every step.
Those are the ones you got on right now.
I mean,
if you need a whole ass marketing situation, I got
feel
them on
me?
too. Shit.
Okay. Mad bouncy. What you rocking over there? What's
Yakuso.
up? The guy, did you? How is it pronounced?
I'm not running Yakuso.
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 Yakuso. Shouts out.
I learned this 3 days ago, you guys. It's like I
learned it now.
yeah, I won't be running in these though. I told Mike, I said, I'll wear these down, walking in them, get a couple fits off, and then once I feel like I've gotten the fits off, I'll run in them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You know the rule to a new piece is you get 7 compliments and then it's old.
Oh!
7 compliments, then it's old.
Is that a Chicago thing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we only got a couple more minutes left, so Ian, what else you want to ask?
What lessons have you learned in both life and in running during this training season?
I can kick that off. So previously when I was running, I would put a lot of pressure on myself to really hit times. But through this training cycle and through this community, I've really learned to just be patient with myself and my body and really just take things as it comes. And I found it to be a lot more enjoyable. And honestly, I'm hitting better times than I was when I was putting all that pressure on myself. So just be patient, take things as they come, and enjoy.
I love it. What about you, Kayla?
Yes.
Honestly, what I've learned during this time is just to rest and be still. Not only in my personal life, but especially in running. If my body tells me one thing, listen to it. Take a bath every Sunday. That has become a ritual.
Yes.
And just have me time. So I think that's the biggest thing that I will take away from this. And as well as like, it's okay to challenge yourself, but in the most positive way possible. So that's what I've learned so far.
I'm loving it.
I would say probably 2 things. Just one.
Wait, my man's hold the mic like a rapper. Oh my God, you see how he just grabbed it like I'm finna spit hot fire right now. I love it.
I'm dead. I would say 2 things. Just first, like, don't beat yourself up. Like, not every day is going to be perfect kind of thing. I think it's tough to, chase something like finishing a marathon or attempting a marathon for the first time. And like, you have a tough day and it just like kind of just discourages you for a little bit. It might have the capacity to discourage you, but you really just have to see like the light at the end of the tunnel and like really just keep going. I feel like one of the things that I've benefited from most, like outside of running, is just like, I feel like it's made me more resilient, like in just life tasks. Like when I don't, want to finish doing all of my laundry, I can kind of relate that back to, mile 14 of a long run when I want to give up.
Bruh.
Like I would rather just lay down right now. But like,
Let me get through this laundry.
you know what I'm saying? And like, but you
One
really,
piece of clothing at a time.
exactly. And like, you can really just keep going and get it done. Honestly, I've learned that and applied it to a lot of different places in life. So
I feel that. That's the same method I use halfway through a large pizza.
Just keep
One
going.
more bite. I can make it to
Pace
the end.
yourself.
I love that. But y'all feel that, right? Like the marathon, everybody says, oh my God, you're so different when you cross the finish line. But you already different in week 5, week 10, week 20. You've developed so much more as a person. I think that's why marathons hold so much weight in the running community because, like David was saying earlier, like you can do some 10Ks, you can do some halves, and it's gonna be super fun. But it's just something about hitting that peak week, hitting that mile 20, hitting 26.2 that you could just apply to so many places in your life.
Indeed. And I think that's a really great way to wrap it up. I think you guys are all incredible. I think this whole cohort is completely incredible. Even if you weren't in the cohort.
Shouts out. Yes.
Congratulations to you for getting this far. You're going to do amazing next week. Thank you, Kayla, Christian, and David. I
love it.
Thank you.
Listen,
That's
shouts out
it.
to y'all. Shouts out to the vendors in the
Yes.
back as well. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Really coming through, making this an experience.
I know
We
that's
appreciate all of
right.
y'all.
Yeah. All right. Passing period, and we'll be back with another panel.
Already. Oh.
Through the Association for Applied Sport Psychology. Andrew is a graduate from the Boston University School of Medicine and has been a lifelong competitive, I think it ended there. Competitive athlete. There's nothing else. So please make your way to the stage and then we can hear from Andrew Joy shortly.
All right. So we got a whole presentation. We got the PowerPoint Pro right here. We're going to get into the mindset, right? Talk a little bit about what's going on, how you should be preparing yourself mentally for pre-race and post-race.
Correct.
Awesome. So we're going to pass it on to you. We're going to let you take care of this. And then afterwards, we'll be able to work our way through the audience, see if y'all have any questions. As my 6th grade teacher, Ms. Brent, said, no question is a stupid question except the one you did not ask. So feel free and feel comfortable to ask Andrew anything that you want to know, okay? Take it from here.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Andy Joy. When I was putting this together today, I was thinking about how this would be helpful for you. Robyn was telling me a lot of you are nervous as her inbox is full from people with a lot of anxiety about the race itself. How many of you have run marathons before? Okay. Any first timers? Couple? All right. Congratulations. I have actually run a marathon. Surprisingly, it doesn't look like it. I am not built to run. I do not like to run very far. Doesn't happen. It's never been something my sports have made me do. So when I was thinking about this, I named it the prep to the step. So how do we get ourselves ready to perform for this marathon coming up? And how do we get ourselves, when we're in the marathon, to be able to get ourselves through it and mentally get ourselves through it? Because physically, I'm assuming most of you have been training pretty rigorously to get through it. Okay? So what we want to do is first, we know that we all have a goal. And I'm assuming the goal is to finish the marathon, yes? Everybody's like, yeah. No matter how you do it, to get through it. But we all have our whys, and we all have different whys. Does everybody know why they're running it? So some of you might be doing it just to say you ran a marathon. Might be for bragging rights to your friends. Might be for your cohort. So you have a running group that you do it with. Maybe you're trying to get a better time. How many of you are actually trying to win the marathon? How many of you are trying to seriously win the marathon? Okay, so we have all these different things. Charity seems to be a big one. That's how I got into it, more likely forced into it. My sister is a big advocate in PPMD, which is Parent Project for Muscular Dystrophy. So she calls me up, she says, we're involved in this charity, and by the way, you're running. I said, what? And she says, you're running. So the second year I did the half marathon. I'm waiting for the phone call the third year. And she goes, guess what? You're running. I said, all right, fine. I've done 2 half marathons. No big deal. She says, well, there's a little catch. I said, what's that? She goes, well, the half marathons are full, so I put you in the full marathon. I'm sorry. Wait, what? You broke up on that. So she's like, you're running the full marathon. Okay, I can figure this out. I'm doing sports psych. I know this stuff. I can get myself through it, at least mentally. So I'm doing it. Mind you, while I was training for this, I'm in grad school, I'm working, and I'm training for a marathon. I don't think I ran more than 8 miles, maybe 8.5 in my training time. Did not run the entire month before the marathon. Showed up to the marathon. I got through the half, no problem. Like, I got this. Just do one more half marathon. You're good to go. Not the case at all. Somewhere, probably between 18 and 19, I started hitting what's called the wall. I'm sure you've all experienced it, if you've run the marathon before. And I'm sitting there and I got my head down. I'm barely trucking along, and literally barely. And this old couple comes up next to me, older. They're probably a good 40 years older than me at the time. And the lady next to me, she goes, come on, honey, just keep moving your feet, sweetie. Just keep going. You got it. You got it. You don't want to get picked up by the bus. Hence, another reason popped on my reason radar. Another why. And in my head, I'm going, wait, there's a bus? I can get VIP treatment to the finish line? This is going to be great. And her husband, I'm assuming her husband that was next to her, goes, yeah, you don't want to get picked up by the loser cruiser. Literally in that voice. Now, as he says this to me, my whole body language, my mentality, everything changes. I go from like running like this, like, oh God, I'm never going to do this stuff. Whoop. All right, let's go. Full stride, arms are swinging, and I'm moving again. So we all have our reasons why. So it's important to keep that in mind of why we're running this, because that's going to help you get through those tough parts of the marathon. What I want to talk about is some of the mental skills that are helpful. And I'm sure what I'm going to talk about today are things that you already know, already have done. And I'm going to give you some of the insights to help you do it better. Because a lot of times we don't do these things to their fullest potential, which means we're not getting the benefits of the fullest potential to do them. So one of the biggest ones that everybody knows, and probably everybody does, how many of you have jobs? How many of you are in school? How many of you daydream during one of those things when somebody's talking to you and you just zone out, you're looking out the window, right? You're thinking about a run, thinking about something you have to do later that day. Well, guess what? You're visualizing. I have people telling me they don't visualize or don't know how to. That is literally visualizing. You're seeing yourself do something, whether it's good or bad. Right? So when we're thinking about visualizing, there's 2 different types. And I labeled them the runner versus the commentator. And literally all that is, it's a first person versus a third person. So when you're the runner, you're literally seeing yourself running, doing it. It's coming out of your own eyes. You're seeing the track in front of, or the course in front of you. You're seeing the other people. You're seeing the crowd. You're seeing the buildings. You're seeing your actual arms move, your feet hitting the ground. However, whatever you're looking at, that's what that is. Whereas the commentator is more the third person. It's you being withdrawn from yourself. And it's kind of like you're sitting up in a nice comfy booth and you're watching your own highlight reel. Like, oh, look at Julie go, look at Katie go, look at Andrew go. Like, oh, it's moving, look at that stride, that's incredible, right? So it's more of a motivational thing. You're seeing yourself how you want to see yourself performing, but it's pumping you up. It's getting you motivated and building you confidence. Whereas in that first person one, you're going to work a lot more, not only on the motivation, the confidence, but on the skill set, on the correction of errors. It's going to help you do the things that you want to do so that you become more comfortable. So there's been a ton of research done on visualization. And what they've shown is that when you visualize, your prime motor cortex, that you're visualizing the activity that you're doing, fires off. And the neurons fire throughout the body. The only difference between actually doing it and visualizing it is there's no movement. Sometimes, have you ever had a really vivid dream and you've jerked and woken yourself up? That's literally your brain firing off an impulse and your body responding. Same thing with visualization. When I was in college, I was prepping for a game that night, and I was visualizing, and I made this, my background's hockey. I was a goaltender, and I made this beautiful kick save, right, as I'm visualizing. Well, my leg kicked off in the middle of the visualization, and I kicked the wall, and I fractured one of my toes because I kicked the wall so hard. It was a great save in my head. So I was happy about that at least. So that's our types of visualization. Now, as we get into some of the nitty-gritty of it, what we want to do is we want to make it as real and as vivid as possible. And some interesting things about that. So when you're doing your visualization, add color, right? You know what it looks like when you're running the marathon. You know what people look like. You know what other people are wearing. You know your course, your settings, right? So you've all been out there training. You know what the city looks like for the most part. So add those colors in. So when I'm working with teams and whatnot, they typically know where they're performing, what the rink looks like, what the field looks like. You know, they know their opponent's colors. They can add all that stuff into their visualization. You can do the same. You know how many of you have what you're going to wear for race day already picked out? You know what that's going to look like. So add that into the colors of your visualization when you're seeing yourself. So that's our first sense, is what we see. Next, we have smell. What's it smell like when you run? What's the air smell like? What's the city smell like? You know, add these things into your visualization to make it as real as possible. You could even get as in-depth as, what do my shoes smell like when I'm putting them on? They're running shoes. I'm guessing they're not that great. Just going to go on a limb with that. So add smell. You know, what's the city smell like? What's the wind smell like? Add touch. Touches can be very important. So I was working with a college tennis player, and she was struggling with this particular shot. And finally, I had her come into my office with her racket. I'm like, bring your racket in. And I had her do a visualization of hitting this shot with the exact skill set that she needed, the exact swing for hitting this shot when she's competing, when she's performing. And then on top of that, her training and whatnot, she came back, and about 3 weeks later, she said she started consistently hitting the shot. And she kept hitting the shot more and more, where she became comfortable and confident with it. And then she added it into her repertoire, right? And she uses it all the time now. And she's very proud of that shot because it's won her a lot of games. Another one is last year during COVID, hockey players had to get dressed, youth hockey players had to get dressed at home before they got to the rink. So I was working with this goalie, he was about 11. And this was priceless. I'll never forget this conversation with this mom. She was walking down the hall, and I'll call him Johnny, right? And little Johnny's in his bed in his room, full gear, right? Full hockey gear. Now, hockey gear stinks, one, and it was apparently wet from the night before his practice. So he's in his bed, in full gear, and his mom's walking down the hall, and she just peeks in. And she sees him in bed, and I guess she opens the door, and is like, Johnny, what are you doing? And he literally goes, Mom, I'm visualizing here. Andy told me to do this. And as she's telling me this story, she goes, I literally saw your life flash before my eyes, as now I have to change the sheets and do all the laundry, right? Anyways, she forgave me. I told him not to do it in bed anymore. But the point is, he added his gear to the visualization because it gave him the touch, right? Which means that he got more comfortable being in his gear. The tennis player got more comfortable doing it when she actually put it in motion, right? So she had her racket in her hand. So it adds a sense of comfort and confidence when you're doing these things. So we have touch, we have smell, we have sight. Hear, add hearing, right? So you can actually use an audio thing, like if you have crowds cheering or whatnot, or if you've done this before, you know what the crowd sounds like. I know what the crowd sounds like when you're running a marathon, right? I know you have all the bells, you have people whistling, cheering, chanting, yelling your name, whatever that is. Add that stuff into your head because it's making it more and more real to your mind, right? And finally, and this is one I don't typically use, which is taste. It's really hard to add taste into sport. But as a marathon runner, you probably know what Gatorade tastes like. You probably know what those gel packets taste like, or whatever it is you're putting in your mouth to keep you going for that distance, right? So I'm not going to tell you to drink something or eat something while you're visualizing, but you know what it tastes like. So try and just imagine what that is as you're running the course of taking a swig of Gatorade. Okay, so we have to add our senses. Next, we have obstacles on the road. And this is one people always forget, is when they visualize, they see things going just perfectly. You know, there's no snaps, there's no hazards, there's no adversity going through it. Unfortunately, that's not how sport goes. That's not how life goes in general. So when you're doing these visualizations, add adversity into your visualization. It's part of it. And it's going to help you build your confidence to get through that adversity. Peak performance is not about performing in the zone at that ultimate level on it all the time, because I can promise you something. It's not going to happen. I've never met an athlete that has said, yeah, I'm in the zone 100% of the time. But what peak performance is, or how I see it, it's your ability to perform at your best on that day and manage to get through your adversity, right? So whatever it is, you know you can get through it. You're going to get past it, and you've already seen it in your head. So when you come at it, wherever it's at, maybe it's the wall, and I'm just going to use that as an example, probably more than once. When you get to it, it's not a big deal. I've been here. I've done this. Your body knows what to do. Your brain knows what to do. Okay, so add that adversity into your visualizations. Then we always hear that hindsight's 2020. We look at something that we have done and we say, oh man, I would have done it this way. I would have done it that way. I would have fixed this. I would have done that, right? And everything's perfect in that world. Well, that's not how we live. That's not how things work. But in your visualization, hindsight or foresight is 2020. And what that means is you can change whatever it is you're looking at to how you want it to be. You know how you want to approach situations and set yourself up to be the best you can be in that situation. And now when something happens, you're more comfortable. It's not unexpected. You've seen it. You've been there. You've done it. And now you know how to get through it, right? Or at least you're better off trying to get through it. This is probably one of my favorites. Change the channel. Show of hands, how many have watched something so stupid on TV and you've actually said to yourself, why am I continuing to watch this? Right? We've all probably done it at some point. Okay, if you don't like what's on TV, pick up the remote. It's your TV, it's your couch, it's your house, it's your remote. Pick up the remote, change the channel, put something you actually want to watch on. Same thing goes for in your head, what you're seeing, what you're visualizing. If you don't like the picture you're watching, pick up the mental remote and change the channel to something you want to see. Right? I did that today. I had this vision in my head at one point where this was going absolutely horribly. And then I had to remind myself, wait, you've done this before. You know how to do this. Right? And then I had to change the channel and see it going somewhat well. And then finally, it's portable. You can do it any place, anywhere. You don't have to shut your eyes to do it. You don't have to do it for hours upon hours, right? It can be a quick hit, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, multiple times throughout the day. As I said, if you were in class, right, and you're zoning out on your teacher, looking out the window, or your boss is talking to you, and you're sitting at the conference table looking out the window, your eyes are wide open, but you're thinking about something completely different. It's portable. You can do it anytime, any place. So some of the benefits is seeing. Seeing's believing. Like I said, it improves techniques and it corrects errors. If there's a certain thing in your stride that you don't like, you can correct it by seeing yourself doing it the proper way. Right? It can help you learn new skills, new techniques in your stride, or whatever it might be that you're trying to improve upon. Gives you tactics. How do you see yourself running? What are things you're going to do? How are you going to pace yourself? Is there certain things or certain people you want to catch up with? So how do you do that? How do you see yourself going throughout that 26.2 miles? Reinforces motivation and confidence. We've talked about that. If you've seen it, you've been there, you've done it, and you're more comfortable doing it again. Right? It's not a new thing. It's not an unfamiliar thing. Better nervous system response. And what happens is because we've become more comfortable with this, because we've been there before, our bodies respond better. Our nervous systems respond better. How many of you have been so stressed out and you're trying to do something, whatever physical activity, whether it's running or anything it might be, and your body's so tense and tight, your shoulders are shrugged up, your arms are in. Have you ever felt like when you're running, maybe you're running in quicksand or you're in cement shoes and just things aren't going, you can't get that momentum going or that speed going that you want because you're so stressed? If you're comfortable and you're confident, you've seen this, you're relaxed, your body responds better, you're loose, you're relaxed, you're more fluid in how your movement goes, and you're able to perform overall better. And then practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Some people tell me that they can't visualize or they have a hard time doing it. Like any skill, whether it's new or old, you can always improve upon it or get better at it if it's new to you. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it right away or if you can't add all the senses right away, because it does get better and it gets much easier. So we've talked about the seeing it. Now let's literally talking about it. There's different types of self-talk. We have the positive versus negative. One of the big things I always have athletes do when they come into my office, because I hear this a lot, is, oh, I suck. Oh, I made a mistake. I can't do this. I can't do that. One of my biggest pet peeves is the word mistake. I absolutely hate it. And why that is because I don't like them. Nobody likes them, but yet it beats us up and it makes us think we can't do it. What I have them do is eliminate that word from their vocabulary. You no longer make mistakes. That's our negative thought, right? What we have now is we have learning opportunities. We have the opportunity to learn something that, because we did that, we can learn from it, we can grow from it, and we can get better so it doesn't happen again, or we can improve upon it so it gets better next time we do it. We have instructional. Instructional is maybe your stride. Get your arms going further. Get a longer stride. Maybe it's just breathe deeper. Whatever that is, you're instructing yourself how to do something, right? And you're telling yourself this. Did you know that the average person has over 50,000 self-talk moments a day? We talk to ourselves over 50,000 times a day. That's a lot of conversation that we have, right? So if you know that, why don't we use it to our benefit as opposed to using it to beating ourselves up? We have calming and relaxing. How do we calm ourselves down? How do we get ourselves going better? I was telling Robyn this, and she told me that a lot of people were emailing her that they're anxious. And I told her, well, if they're all anxious, the best thing you can tell somebody that's anxious is just calm down. That works all the time, right? And that person should probably look at you and say, hey, that is a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you for that knowledge, right? That doesn't typically work. So have something for yourself that you know calms you down, right? How do you bring yourself down if you're all the way up here? The first part is just being aware of it. You know, we often fight that anxiety. Be aware of the anxiety, embrace it. You know it's there, and the more you fight it, the harder it is to get rid of it, and the more it hangs on. We have motivational. And motivational is important because you're going to need it during that race, during that marathon. You're going to need it to keep yourselves going at certain points, because when you start, you're fired up, you're ready to go. But your body's going to start giving up, and your mind's going to start giving up. And chances are your mind's probably going to go before the body. And once the mind goes, the body will follow, right? So it's keeping that mind sharp and keeping yourself going. And how do we keep ourselves motivated? And finally, we have focus oriented. And this is going to become more and more important as the marathon goes on. Finding those little focal points that you can get yourself going and fixated on to get yourself to the next mile marker. Maybe it's catching somebody. Maybe it's just that sign, that landmark, whatever it is, just getting there and then readjusting. Because if you're hitting that point and you're still thinking about the end of the marathon, you're going to be in big trouble, because when you're 20 miles in and you're dead tired and gassed, right, that extra 6 miles is going to be a big overtaking. So just make little things that you can get yourself focused on. So let me just give you some tricks. These are great tricks. And first thing is, it directly impacts your performance. What you're saying to yourself is going to impact how you perform. We've talked about it, your body language, all these things. It's going to, if you're beating yourself up, you're not going to perform to your greatest potential you have on that day. Have your go-to sayings. What works for you? What gets you fired up? What gets you motivated? What calms you down? What builds you up? What gives you what you need? So you have your go-to sayings. Make them authentic. Make them original. You know, it might be something you heard somewhere. Keep it. Modify it. Do whatever. You know, as long as it works for you. You know, it's something that resonates. Different types at different times you're going to need. So we just went through that list. You're going to need certain things at certain times. Maybe it's going to be to relax and calm yourself. Maybe it's going to be to motivate yourself. Maybe it's going to be focus-oriented or instructional. So you're going to have different types, and that's fine. Just adjust to what you need when you need it, and it will all work for you as you do it. This is a great one, the U versus I. There's a ton of research on that. And what it says is the U versus I statement is basically you want to talk to yourself in the third person. You got this. You can do this. Hey, Andrew, keep moving, keep moving. Julie, keep moving. Jesse, keep moving. Whatever it is, talk to yourself like you're a coach, because your body and your mind respond differently to that versus I statements. So there's been a lot of research on that showing that your performance actually does improve with you statements. Focus on the do's, not the don'ts. I was at a golf charity outing. I'm not the greatest golfer. I'm not the worst golfer. And I'm not really an in-between golfer, but I can hit a ball. And usually it goes not where I want it to go. So we're at a par 3. There's a big water trap right in front of the green. I'm like, great, this is awesome. And the whole time I'm focusing on, don't hit the water. Don't hit the water. And sure enough, I tee off, ball goes right to the water. I'm like, oh, great. Another lost ball. So focus on what you want to happen. Get to this point. Get to this point. Breathe. Focus on what it is you want to happen versus what you don't want to happen. And finally, the coach versus the critic. We all have this internal running dialogue of the coach and the critic. Which one are you going to listen to? Are you going to be your own best coach or your own worst critic? And I guarantee you the critic will tear you down and make running a lot more difficult and a lot less enjoyable. So be your own best coach. And finally, since I know I'm just about out of time, the runner's wall. We've talked about visualization. We've talked about self-talk. Body language, I'm just going to say a couple things on. Change your body language. Be aware of it. When you're getting dead tired, when you feel like you're losing your focus, oftentimes we shrink, we collapse, our heads go down, our bodies become smaller, right? Pick your shoulders up, get your chest out, get your head up. Your body will direct your mind, and your mind will follow. So if you change that body language, get expansive, get stronger, get bigger, your mind will start following that as well. So we have our visualization, self-talk, body language, and again, the focus is imperative. All right, so get to that focal point. Where is it you need to go? Where do you want to get to your overall goals? So smaller goals. So with that being said, we've hit the finish line. I'll take a couple questions and then I'll be hanging around. And if anybody wants anything else, you can grab me. My name is Andy. Thank you for your time. And have a great run. Be awesome next weekend. Thank you.
Does anyone have, I think we can take like one question. Anyone have a question? Anyone? I mean, it was a very good presentation, very thorough. So I think if anything, all of our questions have been answered.
Yes, legit. I really do love the body language part. Kipchoge talked about, I think, in the Breaking 2 documentary, how he smiles when he runs, and smiling actually helps keep his posture together, and that's something I've been using since I've seen that documentary. And whenever I feel myself slouching down, my form starts to break, I force out a smile, and everything just straightens back up. So I think there's a lot of truth to that.
And then there's always Coach Robyn at mile 17. I remember when I ran my first marathon, she just popped up in the marathon. She's like, "How you doing? Put your shoulders back." I was like, "Okay." So thank you so much, Dr. Joy. This is definitely something for us to all to think about. I'm not running the marathon, but I am doing a 50K in December, and it's my first ultra. And so I'm like, yeah, all of these things will apply.
Yes. First of all, shouts out to Marquita taking notes. Like,
okay, we got NBC in the building.
Can we copy that later? Like
over there. Hey, Marquita.
Awesome.
All right, so we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we will be back with a panel called What's Next with our favorite coaches on the scene.
Awesome. Enjoy. Are giving away some things. Can I do it? Do I need to wait for Courtney? All right, y'all. We got some goodies to give away. Make sure you got your raffle ticket out. Make sure, you got the numbers proper. As I sip my Don Julio with champagne. You say what? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It's impeccable. Right. I'm trying to give y'all a minute to come to the front so you don't miss out on your raffle. I will call numbers twice. After that, moving on to the next ticket, you feel me? And if nobody accepts these things, me and Courtney will. So I think
I'm just gonna use this time to shout out our sponsors one more time. Don Julio, Kettle One, C-Lip. Are you guys enjoying? Are you enjoying? Do you like your drinks? Okay. Yes.
They heard me and Kayla was gonna be in the building. They had to put champagne in it somehow.
Wow. Make sure to make use of that Kettle One backdrop. You know what I mean? Get your flicks on.
Yes,
make sure to tag us, Gumbofit, Edge Athlete Lounge.
You feel me?
Okay.
Yo, crazy shout out to Sid from Pioneers for flying all the way out here.
That's wild.
From the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? He told this lady, "Hey, baby, I got to run some errands in Chicago today. I'll be back." I think my man's just from Boston. Okay.
First of all, can you just put your hands up real quick? Because that's Sid right there. If you don't know what Pioneers is, it's like what the only black-owned sports apparel.
Yo,
like,
and
period.
I know he gonna run up here and cover my mouth because I got to touch the samples.
Bruh.
And when I say it feels
high quality.
I took the samples that he had been taking around all day and I put it against my face. That's how soft these clothes were, how premium these clothes were.
Better than Lululemon, y'all.
It's black on, it's beautiful, and it's amazing. I can't wait for the drop.
The quality's insane. Okay, let's get going with this raffle. You want to pick? You want me to do?
You pick the first
I'll pick the first one.
We got 3 of them to go.
All right. Got to mix it up.
Do.
Gotta be thorough. Get your tickets ready.
Because
Because we're only calling these ticket numbers twice. All right. So I'm gonna do the last 3 digits, right?
No, you gotta do 4.
The whole 4?
Yeah.
6063.
60.
6063.
Where we at? Going. Oh,
Hey!
Patty for the win.
Come on, Patty.
Listen.
I gotta tell you guys a fun fact about Patty. Okay, she finished the Trans Rockies race,
Whoa.
which is a 6-day race. How many miles?
120.
120 miles.
Yes.
Okay, but still.
You did it.
She still volunteers for it. She's got me interested in it. Now I want to do it, but I also want all my friends to do it. So
Yes.
just putting it out there.
Yes. The text
It's
messages,
because of her.
the calls. Yes. So you got you a nice Topo Chico
Topo Chico.
situation. You can pop open the sparkling water. You can pop open a nice brewski real
Shout out
quick.
Topo Chico.
Shouts out to Topo Chico.
All right. We got 2 more. Keep your tickets out. You got big hands.
You know it. Damn.
This is why some people can't listen to our podcast.
Yes, you know. Yes, our podcast is explicit. Be careful to your children listening. All right. 6043. 6043.
Do you hear that in the back? That's 6043.
Going once. Going once.
Yeah, we talking about, get the edge people
Going
in HQ.
twice.
Don't let the people get in recovery miss out on a good thing.
Oh, okay. All right. If you want a boot, I'll give you some.
Okay?
some
They're taking care
leeway.
of themselves.
All right.
We've definitely called this number more than twice.
We definitely did, but I forgot it's people because Edge does not only.
6043.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay, we're moving
All right,
on.
we're going on. But Edge Lounge, as most people here know, is not just a place where they kick everybody's car out of the garage to hold an amazing event. It's a recovery space. The boots are beautiful. The ice bath is amazing. The hot bath is even better until you have to get back in the ice bath. I don't understand it, but it feels good.
And
they
it
got
works.
this like laser pin situation that just like shocks you with electricity and makes your muscle magically feel better. It's amazing. It's like one of the wands from Harry Potter. So 6058.
Oh, 6058. Are you looking
60.
at your ticket? Do you want to win?
What's going on? 6058. We not having it? Somebody got
Calling
it.
once, calling twice. I think Brian, you let him know in there. No, okay. One more. We're getting rid of these prizes, so I'm gonna need y'all to participate.
Okay.
Okay.
After this is mine.
Okay, Diane is over here telling me. Deanna's like, no, my number is.
It's going to be 6026.
Hey!
Awesome.
Let's give Shorty the Theragun.
Zindy, Pop, 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 pop.
Come on, come on, come on. This is for you. Enjoy your recovery.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You picking? You picking? Nice Theragun right there. I love it. That makes up for that $62 me and Mike cost you. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going to do the last
Go
one.
ahead.
Okay. We got more after this, so, I'm just saying.
Yes.
This isn't the end
Do not throw away your tickets.
of the raffle. Okay, I got 6032.
6032.
6032.
Let's keep going.
6031.
6031. 31. 31. No 31s?
I'm just looking at them back there like, nah, my number is like, yo.
Let's go.
All right, 6075. 6075.
I'm gonna start taking this personal.
Yo.
Do y'all not want to come up here and see us?
Is that you? Did you win? Okay, come on.
6075.
Hey!
So
There you go.
you have a foam roller and a day pass for
Yeah,
Edge
we're
Lounge.
talking about the last 4 digits, you guys.
So you have the foam roller and a day pass.
And a day pass to Edge
So are you
Athlete
running
Lounge.
the marathon? All right. So
Then
you gonna
come
come up
here.
here, get some recovery afterwards, get your protein smoothies, all of that.
All of that. Yeah.
Awesome. Woo.
Okay, are we getting
I
straight
love-
into the next panel? All right.
I love how y'all reluctantly cheer for everybody else.
Right,
Everybody
I guess.
won.
Okay, so our next panel is going to be including Coach Robyn, Coach Candice, and also Coach Worm, okay? 2 of them are Nike coaches. One of them is a gumbo coach who is, just a Nike coach by affiliation, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And we're going to be talking about what's next because, again, if this is your first marathon, or even if it's not your first marathon, sometimes the marathon can seem like the peak of running, but a lot of you guys know and some of you don't, but it's like it's not. There's so much beyond running the marathon. There's ultras. Obviously, you guys know there's 10Ks, halves, whatever, but what about the Ironman? What about the tries? What about adventure racing?
Relax.
These are all things I care about.
This is her goals.
But I'm just saying, we would like to invite Coach Worm, Coach Robyn, and also Coach Candice to the stage.
Get them a round of
so we
applause,
can get
everybody.
started.
All right.
Yeah. You want to, we can, Okay, I'm going to intro them real quick, y'all. So
One sec.
Okay, good, okay.
What's that?
Grab my drink.
All right. So we got our next panel up. You know what I'm saying? If anybody, give everybody a second. If they want to come to the front. If not, that's perfectly fine. But just want to give everybody a second to realize that we do have our next panel up.
Yeah, find your seating, get comfortable, get a drink, stand if you want to. It's all good. All right, so we have Coach Candice on my far right. And she is an RRCA certified running coach and is a part of the coaching team for Gumbofit. She began running cross country in high school and has ran the Chicago Marathon 3 times. This year, she also completed the inaugural Windrunners Find Your Fast program. Hey!
And killed it.
Killed it.
What was your PR?
1 minute and 16 seconds.
A minute and 16?
In what, like 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
Crazy.
Yeah, she's not, when she's not running, Candice loves to travel and spend time with her family. She does have a baby girl who just turned 1. Her name is Zuri. She's our favorite.
Zuri.
She's our first gumbo baby.
After August.
Yes, and then we have Coach Worm, y'all. Hey. Woo. Coach Worm. Okay, a former elite runner, Chris Wehrman, AKA Coach Worm, is a Chicago-based divorce lawyer who stays very involved in the Chicago running scene. He is a 2-time Olympic trial.
That's the wildest sentence I've ever heard. A Chicago-based divorce lawyer who stays, a couple who runs together does not stay together? What?
We don't have time. We really don't, but my God.
That's a whole nother panel, but keep going.
Okay. He is a 2-time Olympic trial qualifier in the marathon who has an all Big Ten athlete runner. I'm sorry, I'm not reading this right. He's a 2-time Olympic trials qualifier in the marathon who was an all Big Ten athlete runner while at Michigan State. So shout out Michigan State.
I love it. Breaking tape, breaking up homes. I love it.
Go green, he says.
There we go.
Okay, I'm going to finish this. He will be a part of the 670 Score radio program team providing commentary on the elite men's field in this year's Bank of America Chicago Marathon. He is one of the Run Club coaches at Edge Athlete Lounge and the co-founder and coach of the Run Better app. So, hey.
Love it.
Wow. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, we have Coach Robyn. Y'all know.
You already.
We love Coach Robyn.
You can't even say Robyn without saying coach. I've tried it.
You can't do it.
So uncomfortable.
It sounds disrespectful. Okay, Robyn LaLonde is a USATF Level 2, USAT Level 1, Nike Windrunner coach, and Nike Run Club coach. After completing her first Ironman, she knew that she wanted to help athletes listen to that little voice inside of their head, however crazy the goal. In 2014, she opened Edge Athlete Lounge alongside her husband, Brian. Shout out, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
He deserves all the flowers. He built this whole, the reason why this whole banner is standing is because of him, okay? I just don't understand.
Yes.
His work is amazing.
I strive to be that level of man.
Okay, it's just, yeah. Okay, so she opened Edge Athlete Lounge with her husband, a community-based fitness facility focused on creating athletes that tear down walls and create better visions of themselves. To date, they have served 5,000 athletes and counting. Wow.
Do we have like a bomb to drop? Like this panel is amazing. You know, just I love it. I love it. So we're gonna get into the questions. I'm loving this. You think the mic is off? Can y'all hear me? I hear me.
Just making sure.
So would you like to go first?
You go for it.
You did a lot of reading.
I did the most.
Okay.
My mouth is
love
dry.
how I chose to not wear glasses today. Okay, so for Robyn and Candice, Coach Robyn and Coach Candice, let's talk about post-marathon, right? And the hours and days after, what are the physical changes that incur in our runners?
Well, there's a lot going on.
Okay.
Your body never really moves in this intensity for this long. So you're only moving in one direction too. And something like Chicago is a super quad dominant course. So as soon as you're done, even before you're done, your amount of what we call micro tears in your muscles are at an all-time high. So the cool part is your heart and your lungs are like ready to go. They feel great, right? You've been pumping so much blood and oxygen through them, but your actual musculoskeletal system is at a pretty big disadvantage as soon as you finish. So not to like scare the shit out of you, but like it is your highest likelihood for getting injured and getting sick. It's a significant event, right? Your race day is your biggest training day. And we need to respect that. Yeah, on top of that, you're just sore AF, right? That's why. So that lasts how sore are you guys after marathon? Like
Extremely sore.
for like weeks, right?
I don't like stairs.
No.
I avoid them.
Especially down, right?
Exactly.
The trick is to keep moving.
Yes. You just gotta like really respect that window, because what you do with your bodies 1 week from today is the most significant thing that you can do. You're also primed and ready to do it, but knowing what happens right after, we should have in our brains now. Not on race day. On race day, go for it and slay. But after that, just know 2-3 days max soreness. It's going to take you a solid, 2 to 3 weeks?
2 to 3 weeks. I say take the whole 3 weeks, honestly. But 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, yeah. But I honestly say take the whole 3 weeks, because you pound so much on your body. You put so much stress through your body when you're running a marathon that you deserve that time to just recover and rest.
Yeah, resting is important. And then something that we don't talk about as much is like the post-race blues. So a question I actually want to ask Coach Worm, and then, whoever wants to chime in on it, is post-race blues are real. Can you speak about the mental challenges and changes that occur in the days, weeks following a big event, and how can we combat those?
I love racing. I wish every single time I got out there, I ran awesome. Unfortunately, more times than not, you don't achieve the goal that you set for yourself. But that's not to say that the race or the training season leading up to the race was for naught. you're going to fall into one of two camps. Either you're going to have a huge PR and you're going to feel awesome and you're going to want to get out there immediately, or, as I've done more times than not, you're going to retire at mile 5, at mile 10, at mile 15, and you come out of retirement, then back into retirement. And then when you get to the finish line, you're like, I'm never going to run for the rest of my life. This is the stupidest thing ever. Until you take a chance, which you all have to do, and reflect. Reflect on not only how the race went, but also how the season went. And I always have my athletes give me a breakdown, a mile-by-mile breakdown of how the race went. Because then they have the opportunity to reflect on what went well and what didn't. And that allows us as athletes and us as coaches to figure out what the next step is. Because the finish line is not the end. The finish line is really just the beginning of figuring out how you can get faster, how you can get stronger, how you can stay more healthy, how you can enjoy it more. And if it was just a one and done type of situation, then none of us would be up here. Not only that, none of us would be up here encouraging you and motivating you and coaching you to get better. So no matter what camp you are in, it's very important to take that time to reflect and figure out really what the next step is. And for some of my athletes, and oftentimes this is why I love winter training, they realize that during the course of the summer, they ran too hard or they didn't run consistently enough. And in winter, it's a great time to run more because you're not dealing with the heat and the humidity. You're not dealing with a million bikers out on the 606 that throw off your stride. You're not tripping over little kids, along the lakefront path. And you can just get that base in that your coaches then can use to help you the next racing season to continue to build. So make sure that reflection happens, although usually it takes 3 or 4 days after you get some of those negative or super positive feelings out so you can reflect appropriately.
I love it. I love it. Winter running is so undervalued. I thoroughly enjoy running in the winter. You layer up properly, you're going to be warm, especially after the first 5 to 10 minutes of running. But you really get to take what you build up through the summer and enjoy it through the winter because you're not beating yourself up. You're really running in your best shape possible.
And one of the things I love too about winter running that the edge athletes know that I say often is that it necessarily forces you to run a little bit slower, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've raced people I don't know, rollerblades, bicycles, whatever, right on the lakefront path because we're all athletes, we're competitive. But you run on the snow and you run on the ice, it just forces you to slow down. So you're getting in that good base mileage while you're not beating yourself up the same way.
And let's pretty much just talk about what post-race blues are. So I wrote some notes because I didn't want to miss anything. So it's the feeling of sadness that can set in once a race is complete. While it is not clinically defined, it is a common experience in the running community. So we want you to know that you're not alone. It is okay if you have these feelings, but let's get through it. Let's combat it. Let's figure out ways to get through it. And what's the signs to know if you do have some post-race depression? Feeling a little lost, lack of motivation to run, yearning for something to look forward to, feeling eager to set a new goal, feeling down, antisocial, sad, disappointed. And you can feel those ways even if you set your goal, if you reach your goal. So we want to make sure you guys know that you can have these feelings and it's all valid, but we can get through it. And the days after the marathon is so important to recover. And when they say find a new race, we can go through it and find a new race to, if you'd like to have goals, because I know a lot of runners say, well, the marathon is over, what's the next goal? So when we think of that, let's not compromise our recovery, but let's set a new goal. Let's reflect on the marathon. What happened? What went well? What didn't work? What could I have done better? It's a perfect time to reflect. You've spent 18 plus weeks with this running, with this training, and now it's like completely done. I always laugh and say training for a marathon is like a second full-time job. It's intense. And after the marathon, it's like, oh, what's next? So that's when the blues, the post-marathon blues may set in, but there are ways to combat it and we can get through it.
I think what Coach Candace said, yeah, I mean, it's coming, right? So listen to her. The post-marathon blues are coming. It's a freight train. And she said something super important nestled in there, which is that even if you reach your goal, you're still very likely to have those blues. I mean, we have not had a marathon, and I know I feel like I'm stealing Carey's thunder here, 728 days. Like we have, in essence, almost been training for this for 750 days. And the last 18 weeks, we've had this thing as this barometer of how to kind of experience life and how we measure success. And when that's gone, we're like, oh God, we're a rudderless ship, right? So knowing that it's coming is great. Choosing a new goal is great. Running some fun recovery miles with people are great. And shameless plug here, I mean, track and trail training for us starts October 25th, and today is the day that early bird pricing ends, so go to the Edge website. Kick your asses out onto trail, and then you can't be sad about things.
And I'll say this just as a personal testament to Coach Robyn getting me out to trails and now me signing up for a trail run, like race. It's like it changes your whole relationship with running. It challenges you in a completely different way. It gets you to a different level of fitness, and you're just in nature that much more. You're getting that fresh air. You're around tons of trees, and even in the snow, it's like, I don't know if any of you have gone like cross country skiing or whatever, but it's like it's beautiful. Once you get out there and you kind of got that body heat going, you can keep going for miles and miles. So definitely something I love. So to round this out, I just wanted to ask all of you, how would an athlete best go about determining what goals to give themselves next?
I could go first. Okay, so what goes next? So I would say reflect on what you did in the marathon, what you need to change, and go by that. Not necessarily saying, oh, I ran a 5:10. Now I want to run a 4:10. Like not necessarily thinking of times, but mostly thinking about how you can change the way you thought mentally. Let's not think about physically all the time. That's how I feel. Like I don't think about physically all the time. I think mentally. During mile 20, did I say to myself, oh, I can't do this. I quit. This is not going to work, but still finished it. But challenge yourself to train your mind to tell yourself, I got this. I can do this. It's like, what can you do to reach those goals and to how to change, how to make it to where you want to be? That's how I accept those victories. Yes. Thank you.
I would say that the hardest thing about being an athlete that trains for as long as we all have for a race is that you feel like who you are is defined by the time on the clock when you cross the finish line. Because we've all been training for so long to get to a certain place. And I can tell you now that I've got all this gray hair and I don't think about my races the same way that I used to, and I'm sure Carey would tell you the same thing, is that my greatest joys now are reflecting on who I accomplished my goals with, who helped me get there, the friendships that I made.
Yes, yes. Speak on it. Speak on it.
And while that's true, I will also say it's okay to be angry. I have always been an angry runner. And what I mean by that is it motivates me. I mean, being happy is great, but that doesn't get me out the door when it's 20 degrees out and it's dark in February. What gets me out the door is not achieving a goal that I know that I can or could have. And making sure that I did everything the right way again or the next time to achieve that goal. So I can see a lot of hungry athletes here, and I think that's a good thing because that means at the end of this, you're just getting started.
Yes, thank you.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything to add. I mean, I think it's really important after this that you focus on your goal. I know that Coach Chris Mosier, a week and a half ago on our Coach Quip podcast, which just takes like 2 minutes to listen to, he had a really great one on your goal. Like, don't let your goal be someone else's goal. Have your goal fit into what you want to do. And also, like I just wrote about, you don't have to share that shit with other people. You can put it in your pocket and keep it to yourself, or you can share it if that's motivating. but like don't feel the pressure to do something that you are genuinely excited about and listen to that little voice in your head that's like, oh, I want to do that trail race. Oh, I want to race for my fastest mile. Like do what you hear in your head, not what someone else is telling you, and that will be instantly fulfilling.
I do want to add one more thing. I'm sorry, y'all.
Go ahead, Candace.
So after the marathon, I want the time to be the time to yourself to say, this is my time to say yes. If you notice throughout these weeks while you were training, you said, no, I can't drink that liquor, or no, I can't have that beer, or no, I can't go out with my friends. Sleep in Saturday morning. Go and have that beer. Go and enjoy your time with your friends. You deserve that time. You deserve that recovery. You deserve to be celebrated. So I just want to add that.
Yes.
Yes. As someone who was not training for the marathon, I enjoy saying yes a lot this summer. You feel me? It's an amazing time. So feel free between now and Turkey Day to say a lot of yes. And then also, you know, like they saying a lot of beautiful things. And if you just need an outlet, if you need a place to go to, you can come sit on my lawn chair at Last Stop Corner Store, slip on the compression boots, and we can talk about it. You feel me? Like I'm an amazing listener and I am there by myself a lot of the time. Either me or August will be here to emotionally support you.
Thank you so much, panelists. If you guys have any other questions for them, feel free to approach them. I mean, we're going to still be enjoying our time here. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we're going to gear up for our special guests.
Awesome. Woo. That was good.
Oh, we're vibing right now. I really hate to cut the vibes.
Can we do Kanye and Jay-Z Otis?
I don't think your mic is on. Jay-Z and Otis? Golly. All right, what was that? Okay, we're gonna get it going. We're gonna do the raffles. We are going to call these two times. So I'm gonna need you to take that ticket out your pocket and take note of the last 4 digits on that ticket, okay?
Yes.
Love y'all. Appreciate it.
What?
All right, where?
I got it. So real quick. So we got 2 prizes this round. We got another foam roller with a day pass. And if you don't know, the day pass incorporates it has all the things. Okay, so you can come, you can get a smooth workout on, you can come spend all day in the boots, do the hot tub bath, pet all the pugs.
All the pugs.
Do everything. And
everything.
The other prize is
Insight Tracker.
Insight Tracker, okay? It's a blood panel situation, so you get to send in your blood and it lets you know everything that's going on in your body, gives you some really good information so you'll know what you need to do to keep training, to work on your diet situation, and really fuel yourself as a smarter athlete.
I still got my mask on.
You know, you're being extra safe, you know?
Yeah, I like to be safe. Okay, so ticket number 1.
Ticket number 1, go ahead. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so we got last 4 digits, y'all. 6006.
6006.
Oh,
Where we at?
I got the Insight Tracker in hand.
Greg,
so that's
7 on
for
Sundays
you.
in the building.
7 on Sundays.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm loving it. Shouts
We got
out
some
to
winners
Greg.
in the house.
Man, we saved you no money because now you got to buy your wife one.
Wow.
All right. Second round for the day pass and the foam roller, the Nike foam roller. 6018.
Who wants this day pass? 60.
Ooh.
Oh, Danica. Hi. Oh, okay. It's for Gloria.
Okay.
You're a good friend.
See, teamwork
You could have
makes
just
the dream
pretended that
work,
was you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for participating. So we have a special. I mean, it only gets better from here. I mean, it's been a great day so far. But our next guest, I mean, if you were at Track Tuesdays,
No, this one mine. This one's mine.
Can I read from it?
But no, I'm reading this one.
Oh, okay.
This one mine.
I'm gonna let Ian introduce this special guest.
Yes. Where is this? How are we doing the special?
Just read it. Yeah, he's right there.
Oh, where is he? Where are you? Okay, anyway, there you go. Hiding out, I see you. Okay, I didn't know if you was on Zoom or not. All right, so for our first special guest, we got the most illustrious Carey Pinkowski. Now, I know his name precedes him. I know we all know who this man is. He has an amazing bio. I'm gonna share it with you. So Carey Pinkowski founded the Chicago Event Management with Michael Nishi in 1996.
Wow.
Shouts out
Y'all.
to them. They have been excellent.
His tenure is insane.
I've been having crazy communications with them. They really love the community, and they've been doing diligent work to figure out a way to connect the Chicago Marathon back to the community and the runners here in Chicago. So I love Chicago Event Management. Pinkowski came to the helm of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon nearly 3 decades ago. Okay, he's been running this for 3 decades. I am 32. Okay, and he's been running this the entire. He started running the Chicago Marathon before I could walk. Basically.
Since 1990. Okay, that's the year I was born.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry.
I'm loving it.
I'm hyped.
So he has served as executive race director since 1990. During his tenure, the Chicago Marathon had experienced astronomical growth, expanding from 6,000 registered runners in 1990 to a record 45,786 finishers in 2019. Woo! Yo, that's crazy, okay? From 6,000 to 45,000. I'm loving the energy. It's included runners from all 50 states and more than 130 countries at this point. Pinkowski has been a key player in building the marathon's dynamic relationships with the city, the corporate community, and the local neighborhoods along the course. In 2006, Pinkowski utilized his experience to help found the Abbott World Majors, a series set to recognize the world's top male and female runners. Okay, so I need to finish the Abbott World Majors. I thought that was something that just all the marathons came together and we was we're gonna form a Justice League of marathons. Little did I know, Carey came through, was nah, this is all me. I put this together. I'm the reason you get the big medal after you finish all 6. So that is super lit.
All right, so without further ado, I'd like to invite Carey up to the stage. We have stairs on this side.
Let's go, Carey. Give Carey a round of applause.
Get loud, get loud.
All right.
Here you go.
He the reason we got enough bibs for everybody, because it only been 6,000 of y'all running.
Wow. Welcome. I just came in a little bit ago. How many of you are running next Sunday? Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes.
And how many of you, it is your first time marathon runners?
Yes.
And I've used this line all summer. They did tell you it's 26.2 miles, right?
Yes.
These two told you, okay.
You guys got it.
Everybody's clear on that,
Should I stand or sit? Or?
You do not stop at 26.
I know you're
you got to go for the extra
but
point.
you know what I mean? If that's what, you can stand. So to start things off, we want to know, what can our runners expect this year? Key differences we should be looking out for.
Oh, wow. Well, to reiterate, this will be the first time we've had a marathon in 728 days. So a long break there between the two events in 2019 to 2021. Obviously, the field is smaller. We reduced the field in response to COVID. We're using the same footprint to stage everyone in Grant Park. The characteristics of the park allows us to spread out and move a little bit. The expo will be in McCormick Place, little farther spread out. We're still just really, mitigating COVID and being very, very cautious and careful. We've gotten some great feedback from Berlin, and we'll hear more from London in the next couple of days, but those 2 events went really, really well. So just working with local guidance, make sure that we recognize that this is a transition year, it's a special edition, and we're gonna move forward. Hopefully this will be, we're very optimistic this will be a step back to more of a normal way of doing things in 2022. So
I know
finish
that's
line,
right.
the finish line, we won't have the bleachers at the finish line. Our big pasta dinners that we had the night before, we paused those. A lot of the areas that you've seen before. be reduced or spread out. I know that there's just being cognizant of what's going on as we move through and move into 2022.
Well, I mean, we're really grateful for all the work that you've been doing over the past year and a half. Feels like 2 years at this point. I mean, but I will just say this, knowing that you've been doing this for over 30 years now, like, and having the Chicago Marathon.
Thank you, Courtney. They'll figure out how old I am.
I'm just saying.
Right, man, that guy is old.
It's amazing. Like, goals. For me, I see you as an inspiration because, RLT put on races during 2020 and we pushed it out into the forest preserves to give people space and to also make sure that they had a reason to continue to lace up and then also look forward to when you guys were coming back, right?
Speak on it.
Thank you.
Like, I'm into it. All of the races and just like the organizing that goes behind it. And what you do is such on a grand scale that it just makes me wonder, how, just like, I know it's hard to say it quickly, but if you can, how did you get from 6,000 to 45,000? That's wild.
We have to go back. We have to go back in time. I was very fortunate to run as a young guy in high school. I mean, I grew up playing all the traditional sports, basketball and baseball, but I had an English teacher that was a track and cross country coach, and he convinced me to go out for track and cross country. And I kind of started to enjoy it, and I enjoyed the camaraderie and had great success. And I'm going to fast forward, had a great success and ended up at Villanova University running track and cross country. And my teammates, a lot of my teammates were from New York, Brooklyn, Long Island, that came to Villanova, and they said, hey, we're going to go up and watch the New York City Marathon so you could jump on the train in Philadelphia and go up to New York. And I remember going to the first New York City Marathon I was ever at, which was like 1980. And we went over to like the 59th Street Bridge, and we're just seeing at the time this sea of people, which was like 14,000 people. It was just like this unbelievable number of people. And, great athletes up front, competing, and my teammates, so they would take off and go to the finish line. But I just stood there and I was amazed at the people that came behind the athletes, the elite athletes, an hour, maybe 2 hours behind. And it just struck me, and it just moved me that these individuals were out there running and had absolutely no chance of winning or being part of that, but they seemed to be so intense on their commitment and their dedication, and the crowds got bigger as the race went on and more people came over. So I thought there was a real emotional connection to that. And then living in Philadelphia, and then a teammate of mine ran the Boston Marathon, so we went up to Boston in the spring, and I just looked at Boston and New York, and I said, man, we could do that in Chicago. We can do it better in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yes.
This city is such a, we're always compared to New York or Los Angeles or whatever, and the second city, everything that goes with it. And I just was very fortunate to convince people to come along for the ride. It's been a long journey, but we've done some amazing things, and I've got an amazing staff. Like Holly Petrovich is here from our team.
Shout out to Holly.
Social media.
Yes.
Man,
And,
Holly does so much work, and
she's
she's
got some-
amazing.
Some really hardworking, dedicated people that are around us in the city agencies. I mean, it's an amazing ecosystem. If you think about the corporate community that helps us with the funding, the residents, everyone that's part of that, our Chicago Bears that schedule their games out of town on Marathon Sunday. There's just a real team effort, and I've just been fortunate with that. And as the event got more and more popular, people that were maybe skeptical or what, all of a sudden they realized that their daughter or cousin or nephew or niece or wife was, and they all became part of it. So it's just been an amazing journey for me. And the pieces were there. It was just putting them together and letting, nothing sells the event and the journey like the event and the journey. So there's something really genuine about it. And the other things that go into it, are wonderful, but it's people that can be part of something that's so genuine and so basic and hasn't changed much. I mean, there's a lot of things that swirl around the marathon and technology and everything, the transformation that goes into it. But man, it's still about putting one foot in front of the other one, training, that first step, that first day where you feel like I'm never going to be able to do this. and then you start thinking, maybe I can do this, and then it's, I'm gonna do this. And that whole part of it, and as people are like, you're gonna run the marathon, are you crazy? And then like, hey, I'm gonna go down and watch you. I'm gonna go down and be part of that. So it self-promotes itself, and it creates this a really unique experience. And I'm just, I'm like Peter Pan. I've never grown up. I've been able to I'm still a little boy in many ways because I'm doing something that I did when I was 14, 15 years old in Hammond, Indiana, and it's carried on for many, 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 many years. So
Running keeps you young.
Yeah, I love it. I'm loving the energy. And I would not be in Pedro Javier Gonzalez if I did not ask this. Like, the route for the Bank of America marathon is like amazing. Like, you don't even, if you just threw it on a blank background, I could tell you what it was in a minute. My question is just like, what we gotta do, who we need to talk to get it to come a little further south. Because I know King Drive is ready to pop out some reels, cheer these runners on. We want to spread some love to the Chicago Marathon runners.
And I believe I absolutely agree with you. And we're looking at some options. I mean, one of the things that we had on the drawing board and we were going to bring to life was a half marathon on the west side that obviously had to be paused. That's going to be back. That's going to ship back into production from our team, and Nike's going to be a part of that. So we're going to launch that in early summer this year. Bring that back. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'm the proudest of is the fact that in 2019 we had individuals that trained for, entered, and finished the marathon from all 50 wards in the city of Chicago. We had individuals that came and volunteered, did it either at the expo or on the course or at a water station from all 50 wards in the city. So it's a citywide, I don't know, there's too many other things that people from all across the city are part of or attracted to. So yeah, we're looking at the route. I mean, one of the things that we did with it when I first started was I thought like Boston. So make it like Boston. You should run from Evanston down to, Soldier Field or whatever. But I think starting and finishing in the same spot, especially for first-time marathon runners, and the fact that it's you get a real tour, you get architecture, and you get to see experience the fabric of the city. But also it's accessible for friends and family members. Yeah. They can get on the L, and especially for first-time marathon runners, which is a real big part of our participation. You can get on the L, get a day pass, go up north, come back down south, go to Chinatown or down to 35th Street, and see a friend or a family member. I know a lot of first-time marathon runners would be like, they're like, I saw that. I must have been bonking out. I saw the same group of people like 6 times. I'm like, no, that's part of the uniqueness of it. Yeah. And the CTA loves it because it's like one of the largest day pass neighborhood ridership days. So it's been a wonderful compliment, but we're always looking at how we can do some things a little bit differently. Mike Nishi we're looking at some options, and that's part of our consciousness.
I love it. I would love to see the green line that runs right along King Drive, full of people chasing their runners around the city. Yeah. You feel me? But I might be in your DMs a little bit about that continuously.
So I guess on that note, and also just considering this year of training and the importance of community this year with just being included in the Chicago Marathon features and just shining a light on a lot of our community run clubs. I feel like this year has just kind of, in a lot of ways, made it the only option because we have to make it smaller. We had to downsize a little bit. So what have you learned, I guess, from that involvement of pushing the involvement of the community a little bit more into the fabric of the marketing of the Chicago Marathon this year?
Well, the marathon is probably, and running is probably the most democratic activity. I mean, it is so accessible, and it's a basic activity that we all have been part of, but it just brings everybody together, and not having that culmination of the emotion of the training and the community and the city. It's been a difficult time for a lot of people, in addition to their workplace and family and everything that we've gone through. But I think that people from the Chicagoland area, the city and around the Chicagoland area really look to the marathon as a day like no other day in Chicago, where it brings everybody together and you can recognize people for their individuality and their accomplishment. I mean, there's nothing that's casual about it. There's nothing impromptu about it. People that are running in the marathon have made a very, very serious decision, and they have dedicated a lot of time and energy to that. And I think that's recognized with the crowds and the people. And to not have it, it was heartbreaking, because I think a lot of things permeate out from that. How we bring everybody together, the athletes. Ian mentioned we had 160 countries in 2019 that participated in the marathon, and they get to see Chicago at its best. They get to see Chicago and the neighborhoods in a wonderful, and the way the neighborhoods welcome everyone. Just missed it. Well, we have to do more. I think that making the marathon more accessible, getting more people involved in training and part of it. We saw a little piece of that in 2019 and the last couple of years, but the clubs and the training are all part of it. We have to continue on that path.
Well, I mean, I appreciate all that you and Holly have done as far as reaching out to Gumbofit, also Last Lap, 7 on Sundays.
Yes.
And so, so I just wanted to at least shout that out, because we know that we are the community that keeps running alive in the city, right? So, if anything, we're just happy to be a part of it and want to include more and more runners, I'm
loving that. So I know through your tenure, you have so many memories. Can you pull from all of these beautiful moments from the Chicago marathons over the years? What is your fondest moment?
Well, there's so many. I mean, obviously the world, working with the elite athletes and some of the athletes that have come to Chicago, they really become part of our family. I mean, some of the athletes you're going to talk to in a little bit are just amazing athletes. That part of it is they're amazing athletes, but also amazing people. Some heartbreaking elements. Sammy Wanjuro, our two-time champion, Olympic champion, we lost him at a very young age. He was probably the most, I thought, had the brightest future, was the most athletic, and unfortunately lost his life in an untimely manner at a very young age. And that was difficult. And I still miss him a lot, because he was such just an energetic guy. And I remember we had a warm day, and he had an epic battle with Sergei Kabeda, where they were going back and forth, and they were just trying to they would run 100 yards and just try to put each other, it was probably one of the greatest head-to-head competitions. And Sammy ended up getting away from Sergei, Ethiopian, Sammy from Kenya. And we had him in the tent, we're getting him some water, and he was just spent. And he looked up to me and he said, "It's a good thing that hill was there, or Sergei would have beat me." I didn't have anything else to throw at him. I'd thrown everything at him I had. And he said, then I saw that hill, he goes, "I just put
Wait a minute, are you talking about Mount Roosevelt?
Yeah, Mount Roosevelt.
Yes,
and he said to me, he goes, "If I didn't have that hill, I would have lost. I didn't have anything else. I just put my head down and ran as hard as I could. And when I got to the top, I could see the finish line, and I had gotten away from him like 10 yards. And he said, if that hill was not there, I wouldn't have won." So he had a great fondness to Mount Roosevelt. I know a lot of other people may not, but it's the only way to get into the park from there. And then, last year, Bridget Kosgei, 2019, we've had 5 world records in Chicago. And the day before the marathon, we had a meeting, and we had the pacers that were going to take her, and we had people from Nike and her manager and her coach and everybody that was in the room. And I asked her, "How fast did you want to go?" And she said, I want to break Paula's record. And I said, "Oh, that's fantastic. You want to break Paula's Chicago Marathon, Paula Radcliffe's Chicago Marathon record." And 2:17:17 was the event record. And I said, "That's fantastic. That record's been here for 16 years. That's a doable thing." And she says, "No, the big record, the 2:15, the world record."
Ooh.
And everybody stood up. No. They're trying to talk her out of it. I'm like, sit down. I said, "You how fast do you want to go out through the first half? She said, I can go 107 and I can come back in 107. I can run 214. I think I can break 214. Everybody stood up. No. I'm like, sit down. And I said to her, guys, can you get her there? And they're like, yeah, we can take her there. So I said, go get it, Go get it. And I think a lot of times, I wasn't going to take the sword out of her hand, And she just like was proved everybody wrong.
That was 2019?
Everybody wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Wild.
And
it was
for
a
me,
beautiful run.
I had been like lulled into thinking like, oh yeah, Berlin, that's a fast course. I was there 2 weeks earlier, and it's where Kipchoge ran 201 and Candace Bekele ran 202 there and stuff like that. And then I was kind of like, I kind of got bought into the whole thing. Well, maybe it's faster than Chicago. Bridget Kosgei showed that that Chicago is as fast or maybe faster than Berlin. So even at this point in my career, we had a magnificent athlete, Bridget Kosgei, that made me think and re-engaged me to think like we can get the men's world record here too. We've got the women's world record. Let's go get the men's record.
Say less. I got you. Say less. Men's world record, Chicago.
It's maybe not going to be with these guys that are out there right now, but there's some younger guys coming, that are track guys that are moving up that are probably more athletic than any I've seen in the last 20 years. So it just kind of like woke me up and like, what's wrong with you? Berlin's not that fast. Chicago and she said, and I just looked at what she did, and it was like this awakening that I had that had me start thinking about the men and going after the men. So those elite athlete experiences are amazing. But the benchmarks, and I know we got to get going. When we got to 5,000 people and 10,000 people and 15 and 20 and those 45, we got to these levels. I was like, wow, this is just amazing.
I love it. Well, thank you.
The events that we perform, the World Marathon Majors and all that, those are all great times. There's so many, I'd have to stay here for 2 hours.
Right, we need more time. But unfortunately, that is our time.
Carey, thank you so much for joining us. Your presence is always welcome.
Courtney, Ian, thank you so much, Gumbofit, Edge, and all of you that are running the marathon this year. I know it's been just a difficult journey the last 728 days, and those of you have run previous marathons, thank you so much for sticking with us. Thank you for believing in us and supporting us. If you're volunteering or doing a cheer zone or any of the things that are going on, thank you so much for hanging in there and sticking with us and doing the training. And we're gonna have a great day. It's gonna be an emotional day. It's gonna be, I think probably the most significant event that we've ever done in the 43-year history will be next Sunday. So again, thank you, Courtney, and thank you for everything. You guys are awesome. And I'll be looking for all of you at the finish line. First-time marathon runners, Goose Island, Chicago Brewery has a special can of beer that they're going to have for you. We saw the actual product the other day, and the only way you can get this beer is to go through the finish line. So,
all right, we're going to have to
finish.
We're going to have to throw a cape on you like James Brown to get you off stage.
It's a collectible.
So thank
you.
Thank you. Everybody, one more time, round of applause for Carey. And at this point, you know how it works. Feel free, go back there, hit some more of these vendors, get some more of these drinks. You got 10 minutes. We might have some more surprises for you and about 8 of them.
Or raffle. So please come over here, take your tickets out, get ready to win some cool stuff. We have another Theragun. And I'm wondering if there's anything else. We have so many things. The what? The dog. But before we do that, I just want to shout out the food that we have. They're from onigiri, right? So it's a business called Cohort, and they're on the back to my right, closest to the doorway. They are selling onigiri, which is a Japanese food, which is actually eaten at sport events by athletes and also just people who spectate. So it's kind of a fun, cool cultural thing that you can partake in. You can learn more from the owners over there, but definitely don't miss out if you haven't had it already. All right, so raffle. All right, so we're looking at 6034. Hey!
Yo, yo.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite New Yorker right here. My
There we
favorite
go.
New
That's
Yorker.
heavy. That's heavy. You standing in front of the camera, my friend. No, not you, Ian.
Me? Oh.
Yeah, they're right there.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Where can I stand? I don't even know. Can I stand right here? I don't know. I'm going to stand over here.
So
with
I
Courtney.
believe that they hear us from this mic? All the mic. Oh,
All the
so they've been
mics.
hearing me this
Awesome.
whole time. Okay. All right. So quickly, because, you know, we want to savor all the time that we have with them.
I love how Sarah Hall fit us in between her errands.
Right. In between her errands. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So real quick, y'all, we got Sarah Hall. In 2019, Sarah was the fastest marathoner in America, 2:22:16 at Berlin Marathon. Last year, she was second at the London Marathon, coming in at 2:22:01. The first American to podium there since Dina Castor in 2006. She followed that up with the second fastest time in U.S. history in December with a 2:20:32 at the Marathon Project. Her 10 national titles at the professional level from the mile to the marathon make her one of the most decorated runners in U.S. history. Next Sunday, she has her eyes on setting an American record in the marathon, coming in at 2:19:36. Wow. Wow. Thank you for joining us, Sarah. You want to go ahead, Ian?
Yes, loving the energy for Sarah. But coming up next, we have Diane Nukuri. Diane Nukuri, yes, round of applause for Diane.
Hey, girl.
Diane. So Diane Nukuri is a Burundian American professional distance runner. All right. She competes for Burundi. She competed for Burundi as a 15-year-old in the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney and the 5,000 meters. And in 2012 in the Summer Olympics in London in marathon.
Wow.
Crazy. While she doing all of that at 15, I was trying to beat my mom to the phone so she didn't know I ditched school.
Wow.
Like, that's amazing. Okay. Nukuri ran for the University of Iowa in college as well.
Yes. And then, last but certainly not least, we have Keira Dimanto. She is the women's, yeah, go ahead, clap it up. So, Keira Dimanto is the women's 10-mile American record holder, coming in at 51:23. I'm sorry, world record. I'm just reading what's in front of me. I'm sorry. No disrespect. A full-time realtor. Okay. Wow. And mother of two and professional runner for Nike. Holla. No shade. You know what I mean? We like Nike over here, but like we love all y'all. And then she has a marathon best of 2:22. She also ran in her breakthrough year. Okay, she came in 2:22, which she ran in her breakthrough year of 2020, and has a 12-minute PR at that time. So y'all, you know, her breakthrough year was 2020. That's amazing.
I love it.
That's amazing and honestly inspiring to me extremely. So let's get started with our questions. Ian, if you want to get started.
Oh, okay. All right, so, okay, I'm getting messy from the jump, okay?
Maybe this is a mistake.
Yes, it was. So elite running culture, right? Like, I know as the cohorts and the community here, the people who are running for themselves and just for the love of crossing that finish line and getting that medal, we're becoming friends probably for life. Now, in the elite world, in this upper echelon of running, what is it like? Are y'all friendly? Is it like competition? When y'all coming up, when y'all like in the pack, are y'all like sneak dissing on the low? Like, what's the energy in the elite field?
Keep it real.
No, anybody can answer that.
I mean, like, Diane, your box lit up.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're friends. When it comes to competition, we thought about business, but if we're out there and one of us is not feeling well, you pass, your competitor, normally you just be like, hey, good job, keep going. I think we're all friends. I mean, I'm friends with Sara and Keira as well. So I would say we're not any different from you guys. I think it's the same thing. We're very competitive but also friendly, and we encourage each other. I mean, I like to think they're my friends, so I don't know about them.
I love it.
I love that. How do y'all feel? Carey and Sara, how do y'all feel?
Yeah, I feel like I'm newer to the community. I mean, like you said in the intro, like I kind of had my breakout year in 2020 when literally nothing was happening. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I'm happy it was a breakout year, not a great year to have a breakout year. But I feel like I was really welcomed with open arms to the elite women's space. And like I confided in a lot of my competitors, about imposter syndrome and other things kind of breaking onto the scene. And I was really supported. So I feel like the American women's running scene is a very supportive community where I think we can all work hard to better each other. But I think I can speak for Diane and Sara that like on the roads on Sunday, like I'm out for blood,
I love
I think we're going to fight tooth and nail in the race, but then afterwards, like I'll be we'll be friends again. So I think finding that balance of support yet like a fierce competitiveness, I think it's all going to make us better competitors. So
I love that. I think I've seen Sara and Diane like in wedding photos together.
I know,
like,
y'all are friends. We're like, they really be hanging out.
Right.
Sara, I want to ask you a question. What are the records you're trying to break this year? Can you like go into depth about that?
I felt like over the last year, my training's pointed to being able to run like 2:19. And so took a stab at it at the Marathon Project last December, but wasn't quite able to finish it off. So yeah, it's a great target to have. Obviously Dina's American record has stood for a really long time, 15 years, I think. I was actually training partners with her at the time when she set that. And yeah, so it's a fun target to have out there. Like, I think race day is all about racing and like finding the right effort on that day and the right pace on that day. So hopefully that's under that pace. But we'll see on Sunday.
Love it.
I love that. Okay, so for Diane, like this is a conversation that came up very recent for me. I can't remember who I was talking to about it, but I see a lot of the representation for Black and brown runners in like these upper echelon, this elite categories, especially after watching the Olympics, but kind of like in the shorter distances and stuff like that, sprints, jumps, and things like that. Like, what inspired you to become an endurance runner?
For me, even though I was born and raised in Burundi, a lot of women the majority of people there are Black, obviously, and brown. We don't really run a lot. We would run to go to school and back. And for me, it was just to travel. It kind of happened by accident. And then when I came to US and I noticed that I was one of the, minority, and I didn't see like Black people, especially in the cross country at the university. I think I was like the only one. So I guess it happened for me by accident, but at the same time, like I just love it. I mean, I feel like sometimes when I'm out running, people are probably like, why is she running? She's a little crazy. But I don't know. I guess I don't think about it a lot. But at the same time, when I go to these races, I notice when I look around that I'm like, I don't know, one of the few, Black or brown person in there. So yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but.
No, you definitely did. You like, yeah, I get it. I know what I look like, but I be getting these miles either way.
Right.
So.
Either way, I kill it. So Keira, how do you feel? I mean, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but like having 2020 be your breakout year, like how are you feeling? And I guess like, what are you working towards? And how did this come about for you?
Yeah, if you would ask me 4 years, like what my plans for running were for the future, like I would just laugh and say, what plans? But through like mostly just needing running in my life for health reasons, especially mental health reasons. My husband was deployed and I was at home with a 0 and a 1-year-old. I found that love of running again, and I filled some loneliness and some struggling in my own life with running. And then the more I did it, the better I got. And all of those dreams from like my first chance out on running that I fell short of were back on the table. And I having mourned and lost those dreams the first time, I didn't want to lose them again. So I kind of felt like this was my comeback tour, my final shot to really see how fast I can run. And I didn't want to lose that opportunity. So I went after it. I connected with my coach that I was training with post-collegiately, and we just decided to see like how fast can I run. Let's see what happens.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I do.
One question. Okay, we have to ask you, does being a well-known runner help you sell houses?
Yes. Yes. And I will be totally transparent about this. So one of my reasons getting back into running and joining running groups was to network. And like, I'm a very genuine person, but I also wanted to put my name out there. And on runs, when people were talking about potentially moving, I would tell them, hey, I'm a realtor. I can give you my number afterwards if you're interested. But it has helped. And I think that I've naturally been branded as that running realtor, and I definitely was getting away with that at first to make sure people knew that I can do both. So yeah, it has helped, and it's been awesome for business.
Amazing.
I love it. So basically, if you need tips from an elite runner, go to an open house.
So Sara, assuming you break the record, okay?
No, after you
do what you need to do, do you plan on like resting, or are you going to come back for more?
You're going to defend your title.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
Usually I have some scheme of like another race the next weekend or something, but I don't have any of that this year. I'm actually headed to Costa Rica the next day with my family for vacation.
Ooh.
And yeah. And so after that, we'll see. Like just excited to pour it all out there at this one. It's been not getting to run the real. We got to do London last year, which was amazing. Get to do a world marathon major during COVID, but it's been so long, like 2 years since we've been able to do like a real one with the masses and the crowds out there. And so just can't wait for that. That's what I'm focused on.
I love it. I love it. You do have to come back next year to Chicago after you break the record with like a World Running Federation belt, with like intro music and everything. Just come out defending your title.
Yes. Diane, what goals do you have?
I do that.
Yes, please do. Diane, what goals do you have for yourself, and like, what are you working towards right now?
Obviously to do really well on Sunday, for the Chicago Marathon, and build up for next year, and just keep improving in every distance. So, I feel like there's a lot of room of improvement for, myself, and I think for all of us, and just compete and see how fast we can get in any distance. So, yeah. Right.
And do you feel any competition while also dating another elite athlete? Like, do you guys race?
No, we don't even train together. So there's zero competition. We just support each other, and we don't really talk about running either. So it's just when we're inside the house, it's about other stuff, and we just like to live like a balanced life. And we don't talk about running. Running does not exist here.
Sounds like a relief.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's the interesting thing of having a run bay, like trying to figure out non-running things to do and stuff like that. I love it. I love it. So, no, not speaking of, that's a horrible segue, but I have been tasked with an amazing question. I really love it. Shouts out to the women of 7 on Sundays to trust me to handle this delicate topic. But the women of 7 on Sundays, run crew here in Chicago, were really interested in knowing how you as elite women athletes train the entire time, and then also deal with your periods on race day. Have your periods on race. I don't know how to say that, but you get it. You get it.
Well, I'll start with this. I think that just naturally throughout the year, just practicing training through it. So I never shift workout days because of that, or because, unless something severe is happening, I try to train through that and practice working through that, because you never know, we can't control it. So we never know when it's going to happen on race day. So the more reps you can get in working through that and just having confidence that that if that did happen on race day, it hopefully won't affect you too much. And then just knowing ways to kind of combat, making sure you're drinking more water, eating healthier, just minimize those symptoms. So, but I think the more you can practice it, as weird as that sounds, the less intense it is for race day.
Sara, Diane?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're all very different, and I struggle a lot with it. And I talk about it with my friends and my friend runners. I think I envy women who don't experience a lot, don't have cramps. And sometimes I really have to take a day off. But like Keira said, when, for me, I try my best, but I'm not going to do too much where I risk to injure myself, because I feel like it's always easy to strain a hamstring or strain a calf, at least for me, if I try to do something very intense. But I also know that it does happen sometimes on a race day. But, on a race day, it's like a different mentality. You really kind of have to suck it up. I mean, as bad as that sounds, it's not like you're going to cancel the race. And then if you feel like it's very dangerous, maybe don't run also. So, I mean, I think you just have to listen to your body, and we're all different. Even though we're all women, we have different symptoms, we experience different things. But yeah, I think just do the best you can and stay calm and stay hydrated and eat certain food that is going to actually help you on that day. So yeah, I mean, I just do everything I can for that day and give everything that I have that day.
Love it.
Okay, so we want to know. Thank you for answering that question, because we also had a podcast episode where we spoke about this, and we're just trying to be more open about it and just make it known. But we want to know on another note, what is one thing you have experienced at a marathon you wish you was implemented at other races? It doesn't have to be a marathon, but just maybe it sounds like Sara, you have something to say.
Unrealistic, but one thing we got at the London Marathon, all these COVID protocols. And so they thought of everything, but we each had our own porta potty, and we had our own little section of the tent with our own porta potty. And I was like, man, this is the life. No porta potty lines at the marathon. So, not a realistic, but I'll always remember that one.
Wow.
I love that. How is that not a picture of elite athletes just standing in line at the porta potties?
Right, how does that work? That's crazy. Anyone else?
You have to queue up just like you guys.
Diane, Keira, is there anything that you have experienced at other races that you would love to see at all of the other races? Any race that you show up to?
Yeah, I'm probably going to sound like a wuss for this answer, but when Sara and I did the marathon project back in whenever that was, December, it was a super flat course. And I left there thinking, why do we put hills on marathon courses? Why do we make this so much harder than it needs to be? So I am really excited about Chicago being a really flat, fast course. So we're already running 26.2 miles. Do we really need to throw in the hills and make it really tough? But
there's a coach, Robyn, in the building that needs to hear that. We don't need more hills.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I would love to ask one more question, and then if we have time, open it up for questions from you all, because I'm sure you would also like to speak to them. Do you have any just advice or motivation you'd like to share for our runners who are running the marathon as well this coming Sunday on the 10th?
What I like to think about, just running the mile that you're in at the time. I think the marathon's a long way, and so you can start to think of how far you have to go. But if you just focus on being present and running that mile, just get to the end of that mile, and just focus on that, then sure enough, by the end, you get through all of them. But yeah, that'd be my advice.
Yes, I love that. Diane, what did you have to say?
Somebody the light is green, right. Sara, go.
Mine would be just to relax. We all kind of freak out before a marathon. I mean, I'm giving advice, and I need to give myself that advice as well, and just relax and knowing that you did all the work, and on a race day, and just take a deep breath, and just obviously be a little bit conservative. I don't think you need to go super fast at first, and then just like pace yourself, and just relax and know that like no matter what day you're having, it's gonna be okay, and no matter what the outcome, you're still gonna be at the finish line, and your loved ones are still gonna love you. So I mean, just don't freak out for no reason.
Yes.
Love it.
How about you, Kira?
My advice is to embrace the suck. And there's going to be a point in the race where everything sucks. And I think to come prepared, like with what you're going to tell yourself when it's sucking. So just be ready for it. Be ready for the pain to come. And then come with those like mottos, or like, what are you going to tell yourself? Is it to drop your arms? Is it to work through? Is it to run the mile that you're in? Like they were saying, just come with what you're going to say when the suck happens. And I think you're kind of ready to fight the fight then, I guess. I know it's a weird, embrace the suck.
I love it. All of the advice was amazing. Okay, so let's just open it up for questions real quick. Who's got a question?
Now I know y'all been wanting to talk to them.
Okay,
Here we go.
right there. Okay, Deanna.
You gotta come up here, girl.
You gotta come here.
Okay, this is what? Okay, this is for Diane, just because I know you run such a wide variety of distances, where I think we see like a lot of pro distance runners kind of just stick to the marathon or the half. Is there a reason that you like still challenge yourself to, like, you just did a 6K in Ohio, so I'm just wondering, like, one, what's your favorite, and why do you do so many distances?
Great question.
Yeah, that 6K, by the way, I wouldn't say it was that fun. It felt really hard. But my favorite for me would be like a half. It's not too long and it's not too short. So I'm still learning the marathon, even though I've been doing it for 10 plus years. I do different distances because I do get a little bit bored. And since it's my job, I mean, it's nice to like just have a different like races to do and like meet different people. Well, for me, I do it for a lot of different reasons, but really just to mix it up and not just say I'm a marathoner, and just be able to do all different kind of distances. And it's fun for me.
Love it.
I love it. She's going to be the undisputed champion.
She's also a wind runner. She's very fast. I'm just going to put that out there. Okay.
My question for all three of you is, in your career, in your life as an athlete, out of all the mistakes that you've made, what's the biggest lesson you've learned? What's the biggest lesson that you've taken out of it and been able to just improve on moving forward?
Fire question.
Very amazing. Okay, I'll pick Sara.
Sara's frozen.
Yeah, she is
Zoom
frozen. Yeah.
energy right here.
Kira?
If anybody else wants to pick up that answer, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes. Like I've made way more mistakes and I've lost.
I think for me,
sorry.
Oh,
Sara, I think you were frozen there for a second. Oh, we got a delay.
The last year of pandemic, this is what we've been going through. So this feels familiar. I feel safe now.
Sara, you want to finish?
I didn't say anything. Sorry.
Oh, no. My bad.
What happened? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying I failed so many more times than I've succeeded. And I think each of those times you learn something different. And for me this year, it's just being okay with failure and not to be afraid of the failure. And the failure is what really develops you and where you learn the most and you improve the most. So I think my biggest piece of advice with that is just to not be afraid of the failure.
Totally.
I love that.
Yeah. Should I go or?
Yeah, please.
For me, I would say it's okay. Like, like Kara said, like it's okay to fail. I've made so many mistakes, and I think the only mistakes that I don't want to repeat would be maybe running through an injury. And other than that, the rest will be It like I don't want to just think about like, oh, the race that didn't go well. I give myself like 24 hours to be sad, and it's okay to be sad because I'm doing something that I really love, and it's also my job, and we all go through that no matter what kind of job you have. So for me, it is just like learning as I go. But like the injury mistake, like sometimes like whatever your gut is telling you, just like normally it's better to just stop and not just push through just because you're like strong and resilient. Sometimes you just have to be smart and take a break. It's okay to take a month or 2 months and then start fresh, because if you don't, obviously you're going to be forced to be out for a year or two.
Amazing advice. I think I saw her back there. She had a question. And then Jared, I got you.
Hi. My question, I guess, maybe for Keira is, what's your favorite example of a way you've used running to affect change in your community?
That is a really great question. For me, running has given me so much. Like starting from like a really young age, I was pretty shy. It gave me a lot of confidence. It taught me how to set goals and how to really work towards things. And for me, now using it as like therapy has really, really helped. So I try to talk with a lot of like younger groups. I'm involved with Girls on the Run, a number of high schools in the area, elementary schools, Healthy Kids Fun Running, any sort of young group that will have me. I love going and talking to them and encouraging them to find a love for it and find a way to make it fun. Because if they can find that at a really young age, it's such a healthy tool for them to have with them for their entire life. So for me, I'm extremely passionate about that. And I go out of my way to show up to any high school or elementary school that will have me to kind of help enforce that and teach them to love running at a young age.
Beautiful.
Love it, love it. Thank you for the beautiful question.
Okay, Jared.
So this question's for everyone. This year I was part of a cohort of about 25 people who were running their first, a lot of us were running our first marathons. And one of the things that we experienced like towards the end as the marathon got closer was burnout. So I was just wondering, this is your career, this is something that you do all year long, whether there were particular things that you did outside of running or even within running, like a particular workout that you like to do when you're experiencing burnout or something outside of running that gets you motivated to come back to running.
Thank you, Jared.
Okay. So we're going to go in order this time. So we're going to start off with Diane, then we're going to go to Sara, then we're going to go to Keira. Bam.
For me, I try to have a balance with running, but I also know that you can do too much and feel like you feel tired and you don't feel motivated. So for me, it's like having training partners. I love training with Sara and other friends in town, and I think going on a run when you're chatting with people, it goes by so fast because you're not thinking too much about running. And there's a lot of things you can do. You can cross train, you can hike. I think just depending on the time that you have. But like, I think when you don't when running doesn't take over your life, I feel like it's much easier to train for a marathon. I think it's nice to have a balance. Yes, we have to do a lot of mileage and all that, but like I feel like there's a way that like based on your body and what you're doing. If you're working a lot, I think you can avoid it by take a day off if you need to, or instead of going for 25 miles, do 20 miles. You don't always have to be doing all these miles. I think you can just sometimes you just have to learn as you go, especially if it's your first marathon.
She said 25 miles. Her training is different.
It's an example.
No, we appreciate it. Okay, Keira. Is that what you said was next?
No, Sarah's next.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sara, please.
Me, like when I need to be fresh is like definitely getting out and running in new places or with people. I think when you're just by yourself on the treadmill or in your same loops, like it can just start to feel stale. So that's how I like to, I'll grab Diane or we'll go on some adventurous run or things like stuff like that. I think brings freshness to my running when I'm feeling burned out.
Definitely.
Your game, so I have to run. But I'll see you all in Chicago.
Woo!
Keep up
Awesome.
Good
Sarah.
work, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
Bye.
much for joining. I just want to give Keira just her time to answer, and then we can wrap it up.
Awesome.
And then, do you guys have time for one more question? We have just one more question. Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah, I think Diane and Sara were much more equipped to handle this question because they have been training at this level for years and years. Back in 2009, when I was training, I got injured and I was burned out. So I took a bunch of time off and I came back and I was able to come back. So part of my advice too, I mean, in a marathon training season, or just that block, you're going to feel burned out. And I think just reminding yourself that that's what's going to get me through on race day is kind of pushing through this. But I think on a larger scale, if you're burned out from running, it's okay, like Diane said, to take some time away and get back to other things and come back. But for me, like, I have a really strong why that I remind myself. So on those days that I feel tired or I don't want to run or it's raining and I'm tired, I kind of ask myself, why am I doing this? You know, it's kind of like, why am I going to go out in the rain? And then I come back to that answer. Like, I am on this journey to see how fast I can run. And every day that I can add more money to that bank, like I'm going to be faster. So having that why for me really helps when the going gets tough. But I think burnout is totally natural and you're not alone. I think everyone feels that. And if you're not feeling that in a marathon training, you may not be doing it quite right, I guess. But
No,
You're right.
It's a runner who runs with 7 on Sundays by the name of Nick Beamster. He does not experience burnout. Like at any random Wednesday, it's a 20-miler. He meets us. We run 7 miles on Sunday. He usually meets us around mile 14 or 17, runs with us, and then runs home afterwards. He is an animal. We have one more question.
Yes, from another windrunner. We love them.
Okay, this is for you, Keira. What's up, dog? That's not my question. I'm, as someone who has a full-time career and wants to be a mom sometime in the near future, I'm super inspired by your story, especially before having the sponsorship of Nike. So my question for you is how did you, or do you still balance all of those things on a regular basis?
Thank you for that question.
Yeah, I think I could talk a while on this. I think it's really important, like Diane is saying, to have a really well-rounded life. And sometimes, I kind of look at my life as everything trying to fit on a plate. I'm trying to balance this plate. And sometimes it's kind of tilted one way and I'm putting more priority on other things. So it's okay in a balanced life to lean in one direction. After you have a child, that's going to get a majority of your time. But I also, for me, I have a really strong list of what's important to me. I have my family, I have my career, and running. And now that running is a career for me, that kind of has moved up into the number 2 slot. But keeping that in line and fitting things in my life according to those priorities really help me figure out what's important and where I should be spending my time. And then I tell a lot of people, I suck at a lot of things. So I feel like I can put a lot of energy into my family, into running, into real estate. But outside of those things, I really suck at things. And I've learned to be okay sucking at things that I don't care about as much. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but that's kind of helped me just balance. But yeah, also just kind of just getting it done, I don't know. I don't know how we all do it.
Getting it done. But
I wish you the best, and that's really exciting. And I know you'll find your own balance that works with you and your family. So we're rooting for you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Keira and Diane, thank you for your time. We know that you did not need to make time, but you did, and we're so incredibly grateful for that. We're so excited to see you run next week. And I don't know, do you have any closing statements?
We will be at 35th in Indiana.
Yeah, we'll be at 35th in Indiana.
You're going to be pulling up. You're going to be pulling up. You're going to see a Harold's Chicken on the left and a McDonald's on the right. And this is going to be us screaming at y'all.
7 on Sundays at Gumbofit, just cheering you guys on, okay?
Yes. And let me know if you want to start this stroller, this stroller for the Olympics, running with a stroller for the Olympics. I'm down for that as a parent. I feel like that in itself is an endurance sport, okay? But thank you. Thank y'all for coming back.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your
Yeah,
day.
thanks for
See you
having
next
us.
week.
Good luck for those who are running.
Embrace the suck.
Woo!
Bye, everybody.
Bye, see you soon.
Wow, you guys. Ooh, look at that. Dang. All right. I just also want to shout out our sound technician, Josh.
Legit, right?
I mean, we made this work. Okay, this is an 84-inch television that we got specifically for this event. I just want you guys to know that. Like, we just wanted to make sure that these athletes were front and center for you. Yes, you have a question? No, we're returning it.
Yes. Kept the receipt.
Okay.
Kept the receipt.
Yeah. I just want to emphasize that, this year for the Chicago Marathon really is a comeback year. So whatever you guys do, it's going to be amazing. So just, appreciate it and like reflect just on what you've been doing and, give thanks to your community and like your support group, because obviously we can't do it without them. And we just appreciate you also coming out to this. This is our first year of doing a pregame.
Yes.
Like, I honestly, who knew? But I feel like it's necessary. Like, I love it. And I hope that you guys have been able to mingle with our vendors. Optimal Performance has saved my life personally as a runner. So love them, We have Uncooked, which is a Black and woman owned business that they have their main location on the west side, or West Loop, excuse me. And then obviously Topo Chico, y'all love water, stay hydrated. We also have
Hydration check. Hey.
Hydration check, yes, make sure you get that. And then Bonnie's Beats, which the owner is there. Beautiful Black woman, you know what I mean? She's got amazing juices. She went to school with Matthew, who's my fiance, you know what I mean? So there's just lots of love there.
Boo.
Yeah. And then obviously, I know you guys saw the Edge pop up. Robyn mentioned that the trail, I'm going to get this wrong. I'm so sorry. Track and trail sign up, the discounted rates will be ending today. So if you're trying to get on it now. And then we have Onigiri. Hope you guys enjoyed those.
The rice balls,
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy.
As an anime nerd, I was like, if you have leftovers, just put them in the car.
Wow.
I'll take them with me.
I'll take the vegan ones. And then Train Moment, which for me, just running and I was an ambassador for them for about a month or so, or no, I feel like it was longer than that. It was 6 weeks. Thank you. Yeah. And I was able to go there and take their classes, and it made me such a strong runner. And it's just a workout like no other. They have different stations. If you haven't been, please go. It's also in the West Loop. The Coach K, Mama K. Hey, girl.
Mama K. Oh.
Yeah, she really first of all,
Is that an outfit change?
Every day. We love her voice. She's a beautiful woman. We love her fits. She be coming through. She has been a part of the Gumbofit cohort. She's done our strength training every Wednesday, keeping our athletes strong, making sure they're ready for their long runs every week.
Yes.
Wow. So very grateful for that. And then, of course, last lap, had to come through with the pop-up.
Yes.
Yeah. So, make sure you get your marathon gear if you haven't. Stock up on the goos and the gels and the nutrition and all of those things.
All of that.
Because you need it.
We do. I know I brought some of what I have from the store here. We do have more sizes at the store. We also will have Powered by Nike, our shakeout run Saturday morning. So feel free. Link is in the bio on IG. Sign up for that. That was going to be an amazing thing. And also, you will get first dibs on the finisher gear. Okay, so make sure you get your hands on some of that. It looks beautiful. It feels amazing, and all of those things.
Yeah. And then last but the definite not least is our sponsors. Don Julio, okay.
Yes.
Kettle One Botanicals. On non-alcoholic Seed Lip. Okay.
Yes.
Who tried Seed Lip? Do you like it? What's your thoughts?
It's legit.
Yeah, it's legit,
Okay.
right? It's good.
All right.
So yeah, we're just happy that y'all were able to come out. Grateful for our sponsors. Oh my God.
With the
my God.
vibes.
How How? It's because I'm here. I need to be here. DJ Mars.
Okay.
With the vibes. Like so when I moved to Chicago, I don't know, I feel like I was introduced to you like as soon as I hit the scene. Like I was like, oh, Mars. And I mean, if you need a DJ, he's my favorite DJ in the city. You and Bonita Applebum, my favorite. Like I say that every time, you know it. It's just like, if anyone asks me, I say you too. And I'm just glad that you're here all the time. So, you know, if you need a DJ for the future, get his information. It's worth it. He's got all the vibes.
Yes.
Who am I missing? Oh, Jeremy.
Yes, Jeremy.
Jeremy.
The one who makes the podcast sound. Jeremy, where you at, bro?
Jeremy, he
Pop your
edits
head
our
out.
podcast every week.
Yes. The most illustrious right there. Our wonderful engineer who is usually texting me like, can you please speak into the microphone?
We just need better equipment, you guys. But, you know, you be working with us. You listen to the podcast either way.
Yes. And speaking of the podcast, the Runners Club podcast, for those who don't know, we are the co-host of the Runners Club podcast. A beautiful, thank you. A beautiful little experience that we have just talking from the perspective of being a runner, living life, you know, our relationships, our businesses, our run clubs, and just everything that comes with being a runner. Because, you know, for us, everything just isn't what mile we did that day or not. So.
Facts. And then I just want to give another shout out to Edge Athlete Lounge because, you know, Becca, Trevor, Brian, Coach Robyn, Gumbofit has been able to partner with you all, and also shout out to Mike because he's also on the team, even though he's with Gumbofit. He's my assistant.
Mike Brown.
Yeah. We've been the RLT squad that have been behind putting on all of the RLT races in 2020. And now, we had planned to do a race even this year, and we had a plan to do a race and they were like, no, let's pivot. Right. And so then we created the pregame. And so it was just kind of a leap of faith. And luckily this team that we've created is just driven and we work well together. So, and it's it just seems like when we decide we want to do something, it happens.
Love it.
So thank you very much. And I appreciate you guys.
Love it.
Yeah.
You got a raffle?
Yeah. So we have a lot more stuff to give away and then we can enjoy the rest of the day. Okay. All right. 6016.
6016.
I'll give you a second to take your tickets out. I gave you no time. My bad.
6016.
Maya looked defeated. She said, again, I didn't get it. 6016.
Oh, okay.
I know we got a couple people that headed out, but that's okay. You guys stayed for the good stuff. 6033.
6033.
6033. We're looking at the last four digits. 6081. Hey!
Yo.
Topo Chico in hand. It's only fitting.
Boom, 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 boom. There we go.
6073.
6073. All right, okay. Missed out.
I'm just blazing through these for you guys. Ooh. Okay. 6041. Hey! Woo. You get a foam roller and a day pass.
Foam roller.
Yay. All right. Now the Topo Chico back. 6028. All right. Woo. Come on up. Get your prize.
There you go. Thank you. We're gonna give out the last. We're gonna say the shoes for last. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. Save the best for. I mean, I don't know. Is that the best? I don't know. The day pass to me was pretty great.
Honestly, yes.
6012. Hey. Awesome.
Love it. What is in this box?
I love this. You guys are really good.
The shoes. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, there's nothing in the box.
I was excited. You get me. Woo.
Okay. All right. 6028. I'm sorry. No, that's wrong. I read it wrong. 6027. Oh, come on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is like school where you get a fake diploma and we'll mail it to you later.
We will be sending you a pair of Nikes. So check in with Coach Robyn. She will get your size.
Which you must run in. I love it.
Make sure to tag us. All right. So I don't have any last words. Robyn, do you have